the purpose of this webinar was to make tax filing and every information that you need, every clarity that you need, every um, solution in quotes that you need for your tax filing on this webinar today. That was why we decided to have this, so that because I mean, it's better we have like a unified meeting where we talk about all our questions and get clarity, have answers to all like questions we might be having now or later in the month. And also just I mean to have like an impactful session where everybody gets answers to their questions, and they're able to file their tax with no restrictions whatsoever. Okay, right. Oops, what have I done? Okay. So we have different speakers today. I mean, our professionals, of course, our experts. I'm going to be leading us today in every question. Okay, sorry, I didn't even introduce myself. My name is Jolakwo. I'm actually using an account that is not mine. My name is Jolakwo Layomi, not Daniel Lucia. For clarity sake, because I'm like, why are we seeing a woman's face and a man's name? My name is Jolakwo. And if you are someone that have been joining our webinars, I'm sure you're familiar with this face. All right, so you're going to be discovering, tips and tricks on, ensuring accuracy, accuracy and compliance. One, two, have like an engaging session where we can ask questions, and also a deeper understanding of, tax filing, and also we would be sharing our knowledge as well. I mean, if you have any addition to whatever the our speakers are going to be speaking on, please feel free, right, to share the knowledge with every other person. And we're going to do this in an orderly way. So after we have our speakers talk, there will be time. I mean, there's a time allocated for questions and answers, so that we can all ask our questions, answers, or either contribution, whatever the case may be. So thank you everyone, thank you professionals. It's exciting. I mean, I'm so glad that we all joined, although it was short notice, but I'm super excited that we all registered and we're intentional about joining the call today. I promise you it's going to be an impactful one, and don't worry, your time is not going to be wasted, your money is not going to be wasted, and the knowledge you gain here would be used for you in your place of work. So thank you once again. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and happy new year, everyone. Okay, Dio, do you want us to go ahead now, or we should just wait? Hi, Inena, happy new year. Do you want us to go ahead? Also, let me just add, if you're not following us on Instagram, Twitter, you're not following us on LinkedIn, please, what are you waiting for? Tell me. What are you waiting for? Okay, so I believe everyone here is following us on social media. Okay, that is good news. I want to believe so. These numbers are tracing. They are showing on our LinkedIn, showing on our Twitter, showing on our Instagram page. All right. Okay, Dad, do you want us to go ahead, or we should just wait for another 1 minute?
Okay. So before we go ahead, let me just quickly run everybody through what tax problem solver is all about, what we do, and who we are, stuff like that. So tax problem solvers is, like the name implies, is a group of young and tax professionals with the focus of solving tax problems. So whatever worries it is you have for your tax issues in your business or in your office, or in whatever it is, so far it is tax related, we try as much as possible to make it simplified. we try as much as possible to ensure that, okay, whatever problem it is that you face while you're at work, we can help you solve it in the little way we can. So that's basically what we do in tax problem solvers. We majorly solve tax problem, and we have a community of over um, over 1,000 members on WhatsApp. We have a community of over 4,000 followership on Instagram. We have a community also on YouTube, Twitter. I mean Twitter that is now X, and Instagram as well. So you can try to like follow us in the course of the meeting. I'll try as much as possible to drop the links to join all of these groups via the chat section. So you can just follow us because our WhatsApp page is always very hot during the week when everybody's at work. If you're at work and then you have an issue with your tax filing or anything, just drop it on that group chat. Before you know it, somebody has already answered your question. Before you know it, somebody has already, giving you solution to that problem or issue you're facing with your tax at your workplace. So this is basically some of the benefits you tend to get in joining our platform. And also we try as much as possible to recommend people for job opportunities, especially that it relates to tax. So, if you are this tax enthusiast person and you just want to develop yourself tax-wise, I feel like you need to be in this group. And also, we don't just talk about tax alone. We even go ahead to talk about, accounting issues, and whatever issues relating to accounting and finance as a profession. Because like you may know, tax is just a branch of accounting, right? So we focus more on all the overall aspect of accounting and finance in the group, and it will surely benefit you if you join this group. So this is basically what we do. And today also, like I didn't mention, we also hold webinars at least once every month to ensure that we give back to people and to ensure that we add values to our community members as well. So we hold webinars at least once in a month, every month. So some months will be paid webinar, some months will be free webinar. So depending on if you're a member of our group, you tend to benefit from all of these things. So this is basically what we do at Tax Problem Solvers. On our YouTube page as well, we have lots of video out there that can help you with your tax filing and tax compliance. So if you have any issues, maybe you don't know how to file one tax return, maybe you don't know how to file that, you don't know how to file withholding tax, or you don't even know how to generate your PAYE and all of those things, you just need to go and subscribe to our YouTube page to see all of those resources made available for you to learn from without paying anything for it. So, and these are stuff you benefit from being part of us. And I'm sure that today we all have expectations from for today's training, and I can tell you that your expectations will surely be met today, no doubt, because we've got experts that gonna speak with us and run us through what annual pay returns filing is all about, how to file your annual pay returns, and how to file your withholding tax annual returns as well, because we are in that season and you don't have to lose track as an accountant that you are. You need to be up to date, you need to know how to do it, because if you work in a company and you're being asked to file your annual tax return, you cannot afford to be looking like a dundee. So this is where you will get knowledge for that. And I don't know if we have like maybe 5 people that wants to tell us what their expectation is or what expectation they have for this training today. I know we've gotten that from the Google form. However, you might want to like express yourself physically, on the call here. Just tell us what your expectation is or what are your expectations for today's program. So Dolapo, if you can help us, pick out like 5 people to just tell us their expectations before we go further again. I'm not sure Dolapo is on the call. So if you want to tell us your expectation, can you please just signify by raising up your hand? so we can just call you, just tell us what you are expecting from today's program. So we can, try to like examine ourselves, or will I say, check if you're able to like meet your expectation at the end of the day. So I've got Abiodun, I've got Omotoyosi, I've got Gideon. I need 2 people more. I'll call you shortly. I just need us to have 5 people raise up their hand, and then can give you the floor to tell us the expectation. Also, just to clarify some things, today's annual tax returns class is for PAYE and withholding tax. We are not looking at CIT today, because I can see that some people are maybe mistaking it for CIT annual returns. No, we are looking at PAYE annual returns filing, which is the current issue at hand for business owners and companies now. So yeah. So let's have the flow. Ogubanjo, Motoyosi, do you want to say something? Tell us your
Yeah,
expectation for
thank you.
today.
Adida, good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'm using my phone to connect. My expectation basically for this master class is I find myself in the middle of I'm taking up a new role in a new company in December. So this in the tax consultants to handle in my former place of work, but it is handled in-house in the new company. So I find myself fill up schedules with annual filing for about 34 states, including the FCT. So where I was before, was filing for like about 3 states and tax consult for master class is very practical. Okay, what are the requirements for filing in? Let's say uh,
I don't know if it's only me. I think your network is breaking, and I'm not getting the point
all right.
clearly.
Can you hear me? So can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Is it
it's
better
better
now?
now. Yes.
All right. So what I'm saying is my expectations are very, very practical. Like some of these states where we are doing the annual filing, is it physical filing? Is it online? So if I can even get maybe somebody on this platform that knows the contacts in some of these states, Abia State, Cross River, Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa, how we can file in some of these states. Some you file through the portal, some you have to go there physically. So I just need practical experience on annual filing in some of these states and the requirements for filing, get contacts in some of the organizations to be able to, I have a template that I need to fill out. This is a new experience for me. So the master class is like a place where I want to learn all these things, and that is why I'm here.
Okay, that's fine. That is well noted. We hope that at the end of today, at the end of the class, you'll be able to you'll be able to meet your expectation. Abiodun Akin Loton, do you want to say something?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. So compliments of the season. Thank you, Adedayo, and thank you. Apology, I forgot, but I remember I used Daniel's account to address us. So just so hard. So I look forward to networking with like minds of professionals, and of course, it's an opportunity to be in a forum. So whereby we only have tax professionals, so where we get to share ideas, and then it just makes the whole work easier. So and we could definitely learn from one another. Yeah, in short, so I'm looking forward to networking with great like minds of tax professionals. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Abiodun Akin Loton, for that. Philip Gideon, do you want to say something? Philip Gideon, are you there?
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, all right. So I also indicated interest to say something about my expectation for today. And before I go ahead to say that, I want to really appreciate, the organizers of this platform. Thank you very much. My quest is around the fact that after monthly uh, compliance in filing PAYE, filing WAT, it's also interesting to know that there will still be an annual task, which we are, talking about today. Then I really want to know if a company that has not yet actually started operation, but has already, started incurring pre-incorporation expenses, which now warrants WAT deductions. Will such a company also go ahead to do annual tax filing and all? So these are the things I really want to know, alongside other things that will be taught also during the class. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Mr. Philip Gideon. Your expectation looks more like a question, but we'll answer it as well in the course of the session. Omo Fari Kemi, please, you want to say something?
I don't know if it's audible. Good evening, everybody. Can you
Good
hear me?
evening.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for this wonderful platform. Actually, I just want to. I would say my expectation is more like a question as well, because been working on a monthly pay since last year for a particular organization, and I've been having some challenges with the monthly pay in sense that I could not access my pay on the portal. So my expectation is how to file the monthly payee on the portal online, not the physical one, online. Because sometimes when you try to reach out to the tax agents online, you just can't reach. You don't get response. You don't get a prompt response. So I think that's part of my expectation, and I want to know the current monthly deduction value. And because I stopped last year April, and I want to pick it up from there, but I've been having challenges assessing ones I've done from 2022 to last year. I've been having issues with them. I could not see the receipt, I could not see the payment. Whereas I'd already received the mail. It's on my email, but I could test it on the portal. So these are the expectations I am looking forward to in this training for today.
All right. Thank you for that. Alius, we'll not be able to take everybody. I think some people are already raising up their hands again. Alius, Leah, and Obina, Michael. Alius, Leah, do you want to say something? Obina, Michael, are you there?
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can.
Okay. This is Obina, and thank you for this opportunity. Actually, since last year around October, I've been looking for an opportunity like this to have this kind of class and this kind of discussion. But I've been finding it somehow difficult. So early this year, I came across these task problem solvers on LinkedIn. So I had to take up the opportunity. I knew the opportunity I've been looking for has arrived. So my expectation in this class today is that I am looking to transition into tax accounting and the tax audit. So, and I'm also looking for opportunities in that area. So I'm just trying to gain more footing as an ICANN student. I'm trying to gain more footing and to gain more knowledge so that all this, when the opportunity comes, all these tax issues will not be a problem to me. It will just be like a walkover to me. That's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that. Lastly, let's have patient Elimian.
Okay, good evening. Thank you for this opportunity. What I'm looking towards in this class is on how to register a company on the tax promise. I've not had the opportunity of registering a company because I worked before. We were not filing our tax as a result of internal problem. And then as such, I don't have that experience. Then secondly is VAT and the withholding tax and deduction and filing. That is all that I want to learn here. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. So just to clarify some things, this particular masterclass will not cover some of your expectations. However, you can try to go to our YouTube page to look for how to file VAT and withholding tax. I think we have those videos there. But this tax masterclass is majorly on PAYE annual returns filing, and I think maybe withholding tax annual returns filing as well. So, but if you want to get, I mean, on our YouTube page, we have how to file CIT returns, how to file VAT returns, how to file withholding tax returns there. But please, if you will not subscribe, don't.
Subscribing to the YouTube channel will solve my problem, right?
Yes, yes. But if you will not subscribe to the YouTube channel, please don't watch our video. So, but I mean, all of those things are there to help you. But yeah, majorly we'll be focusing on PAYE annual returns filing and withholding tax annual returns filing. So lastly, I mean, let me just give Titilayo a grace. Titilayo Angela Alade Somi.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I want to thank you for this opportunity. I've been wanting to learn it, and when I saw the opportunity, it was just like a miracle to several prayers. My question actually boils down on so it's an expectation and also a question. And my company, we opened a recent branch in Lagos here, and that we started around May, and from then we started filing our pay in Lagos. We've always been in Port Harcourt, but we just moved a branch down to Lagos. And I know the returns is supposed to run for 12 months, but we did not really file for 12 months because the company just relocated. So my expectation is actually to learn if there is going to be a challenge filing, annual returns for a payee that is not up to 12 months. So that is what I really want to get from this class. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody that has I mean shared their expectation with us. And it is our hope that at the end of this masterclass, we will be able to meet your expectation. And I mean, you will not regret subscribing for this at all. So thank you so much once again. And please, if you are yet to, subscribe to our YouTube channel, please let's try and do that. You will learn a lot from it because we've got, a lot of videos in our drive at the moment that we are still going to upload just to add values and to, help people in need of it. So I don't know if Dolapo is still on the call.
Yes, I am. My apologies. I'm having network issues, but I'm on the call. I'm here.
Okay. Do you want to take over? So I think we can just start the class now. So
Okay. All right. Okay. Hi, Jessica. Are you there? Jessica, can you hear me? Hello.
Jessica, you are muted if you are speaking.
Hello, everyone. Can we hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Dolapo.
Okay. All right. Jessica, is she on the call?
I think she's having network issues, but in the meantime, let's
Okay. All right. So our first speaker actually is Jessica, but now that she's having network issues, Dio, do you want to go ahead and then?
Okay, let me while we wait for Jessica, let me quickly run us through some things about annual tax returns.
Okay.
And yeah, so annual tax returns in accordance with the Personal Income Tax Act Section 81 is a compulsory thing company must do. Did I say thing? Is a compulsory is a legal requirement, let me put it that way, that every company, every employer must ensure that all PAYE annual returns are filed on or before the 31st of January of the following year. So what does this mean? It means that all the PAYE that has been remitted by the employer in the previous year, that is from January to December, has to be filed. So meaning that if you don't file your PAYE returns, it means that your employees will have issues getting tax clearance certificates. Your employees will have issues with their own personal tax filings. So it is important that employers of labor companies ensure that these legal requirements are done to avoid any issues. And also there's a penalty for it. If you don't file your annual PAYE return, there's a penalty of 500,000 naira. So that's the failure for not filing. And also there's a penalty of for not paying, for not remitting your PAYE returns, which is 6 months imprisonment. So these are steps you should take note of. And also according to let me check if Jessica is back now. Okay, let me try to share my screen and run us through some things just before. Dollar copies, can you hear me reach out to Jessica just to know what the problem is with her? Please, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Okay, so while we try to wait for our first speaker, right? Let me quickly run us through the tax, e-tax platform for LIRS. So this is the e-tax platform. I'm sure we all know this. And for you to file your annual returns, you need to be familiar with this, especially with the LIRS. So you have to log in. Click on I want to pay tax. You log in with your company's login details, and then you have a dashboard like this, as you can see on the screen. So then you play on the left hand side of the screen where you have corporate returns. Click on corporate returns. So this is where you have details of the company's annual returns that you want to file, right? So it will entail it will show previous year annual returns that has been filed before. As you can see, for this company, they filed for 2020, they filed for 2021, they filed for 2022, but they are yet to file for 2023, which is the current annual return that is still ongoing, right? So, and for you to do that, right, we've got templates for you made available, right? So we have, 4 lists of items here that you need to file. The first one is the schedule returns. The second one is the annual returns. The third one is the projection returns, and the fourth one is the withholding tax returns. So let me try to explain what these items are all about, right? So when you click on them, like for example, the schedule returns, it will show that you can download the templates here. So there's a template for it. So I feel our speaker would deal more with that later. But let me tell you what schedule returns is all about. So schedule returns basically is all about the schedule of all your receipts of PAYE return that has been remitted in the course of January to December of the previous year. So in this schedule returns, it will have details such as the date of payment, the period of payment of your PAYE returns. Let's say, for example, for January PAYE returns of 2023, the date you made that payment, the period of payment, which is January 2023, which will also cover how much did you pay for that month, and also it will cover the receipt receipt reference number. So these are details you have to populate on this schedule returns. So basically, this schedule returns is for you to populate all the details of your pay receipt for January to December of the year in question. For example, now we are in question, the year in question here is 2023. So for pay receipt from January to December 2023, you need to populate them on your schedule returns. So that's what basically schedule returns is all about. So let me move to annual returns. So annual returns here is where you consolidate your payroll. Yeah. So you consolidate your payroll for January, February, March, like up until December. So you'll be having 12 months payroll altogether. So but then you don't have to, you cannot upload it one by one per month. You have to consolidate them as one. So this is where your Excel skills will come in, the likes of how to use pivot table and the likes, to help you consolidate them as one document. It's just like saying you are doing consolidated financial statements, like the way we have in group account and all those things. So instead of you uploading it one by one per month, the system wants you to consolidate it as one and then upload. So some people can do it in the manual way of trying to do it manually, but which I feel will take time. So we will try as much as possible to simplify it for you today, maybe with the use of pivot table, to ensure that you're able to consolidate it very fast and very easy. So that's what annual returns is all about. It means you're trying to consolidate your payee returns. Then for projection returns now, please, can we all see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for projection returns now, projection has to do with projection. What are you projecting for the current year? We are trying to file returns for 2023, right? So, but we need to make projection for 2024. And how do you make this projection? You make the projection based on your last payroll of the company. So let's say of course, obviously the last payroll for the company should be maybe December 2023 payroll. So with that, you can easily tell the number of employees that is still in the company currently, and you can try to make projections of, okay, what should we be expecting at the end of 2024? So that is basically what projection returns is all about, right? Now for withholding tax returns, so there are some companies that they don't have payroll. Not like they don't have payroll, they don't have full-time employees. Their own kind of employees they are more like on contract basis. So they don't regard them as full-time employees, or maybe let me say they are not on the company's payroll. So they just contract them maybe one-off, or maybe based on number of hours that they work and everything. So for companies in this kind of scenario, you are meant to file withholding tax returns. So if you have contractors that you pay monthly and you deduct withholding tax on their payment, right, you also need to file your withholding tax annual returns. So which means that every withholding tax that you've remitted so far from January to December of the last year, you need to, populate those receipts. So here also we will be talking about the amount of withholding tax remitted per month, the month in question, the receipt number for that withholding tax payment, the amount paid, and all of that. So these are stuff you would have to populate on your withholding tax returns. So these are basically, I've been able to explain what these 4 key returns are all about. and there's no way you want to file your returns, at least you have to deal with 3 of them. If you're not even dealing with withholding tax returns, at least you have to deal with schedule returns, annual returns, and projection returns, because those 3 are very, very important. And also, before I continue, let me check if Jessica is here. Jessica, are you here?
Yes, I'm back. I had network issues.
Oh, I figured. So so far I've not really done much, but I've just been able to like explain what schedule returns is all about, annual returns is all about, projection returns is all about, and then what withholding tax returns is all about. So do you want to continue from here? So I can stop.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Adedayo. Good afternoon, everyone. Compliments of the season. Thank you for joining the call. We really appreciate you guys. And I hope and I believe that at the end of this class, we should all be able to file our returns successfully. Okay, just as Adedayo has said, let me share my screen so we can just go through a few things before we move to the practical itself. One second. Okay. Um, can everybody see my screen? You can just signify by maybe you raise your hand or the thumb up. Okay. So our topic is the 2024 PAYE annual returns filing and the withholding tax filing. So I just had to do some outlines of something that I'll call like just a brief or like an overview of what PAYE is before we actually go to the filing, the practical itself, because the annual returns is basically for practical, and we are here to take you bit by bit so you have an understanding of it, so that when you're filing your returns, you won't have any issues. So my first point here is how a pay slip should look like. So yes, in some of our employment should I say employment agreements or contracts, there's quite a sometimes we just see, oh, gross salary, this 200,000, this, that, 200,000, and all of that. Well, it still is not a bad thing, but sometimes it is always better to have a spreadsheet of how just, I call it standard, or I can just call it like a simple way a pay slip should look like. If your gross salary for the month is 200,000, so that 200,000 should be broken down into basic housing, transport, other allowances. The reason why this breakdown is necessary is because of pension deduction. We all know that pension is deducted from basic housing and transport. Now, where we have the gross, where we have just the gross, it automatically means that we are going to deduct our pension on the total gross. So sometimes we could say, oh, let's just break it down, and sometimes it might just be the gross alone. However, it's always advisable or it's always nice to break it down in this format so that when you're deducting your pension, oh, you're deducting it on just this BHT. On the other part is also fine for the it is also fine for the employee, at least the whole pension, even though it's a future payment that by the time you retire, you end up getting what you want. But At the same time, you could also save some money from the deduction, or your net pay at the end of the day should at least go up, because these days in Nigeria, well, I don't want to talk too much. So help us God. So basically, this is just how a simple or a standard pay slip should look like, so that basic housing, transport, and other allowances, these four items should be 100%. Now, sometimes, or I would say most of the time, basic allowances are always the one having the higher percentage. So you can decide to say, oh, the basic allowance can be the 50%, while you spread the other 50% on the other item. Or you can decide to say, oh, you want your basic to be 60% or 70%, depending on anyhow you want to do it. But the four items should be at 100% at the end of the day. So we'll go to the next slide. We say, how do you determine your tax? We all know what tax is. We all know what PAYE is. We know that PAYE is pay as you earn. And we also understand that is deducted on as an employee on gross salary, and as an or as someone that owns a business is also deducted, as much as you don't classify those that, let's say, employers, like those owners of, you don't classify them under payee, you classify them as direct assessment. But here is just a brief one saying tax is imposed on individual who are either in employment or are running their own small businesses under a business name or partnership. Though collection of personal income tax is a federal responsibility, this tax is generally collected by state government from those that are residents in the various states. We all also understand and know, we are familiar with the fact that pay should be deducted in where the state is, or where the individual is residence or is domicile, regardless of whether they are federal, state, local governments or private sectors workers. The FIRS also collects this tax, but only from residents of the Federal Capital Territory, as well as what may be described as highly mobile federal workers, staff of the ministry, blah, 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 and all of that, civilian workers in police and all of that. So then the current law guiding the taxation of personal income tax, we all know this is the law that guides the payee deductions. And this law guides also tax official in identifying the residents of potential taxpayers, as well as the sources and origins of the income for the purpose of taxing the income. So here is just letting us to understand, how do you determine your tax. Of course, your tax is being determined in the state where you domicile. If you are in Lagos, the tax is being remitted to Lagos State Internal Revenue Services. If you are outside Lagos, your taxes are being remitted to other states' internal revenue services. So my next slide is just giving a brief summary of what PAYE is. Pay as you earn is an acronym for pay as you earn. It is a method of collecting personal income tax from employees' salaries and wages through deduction at source by an employer, as provided by the relevant section of the personal income tax. Now, in this place, just like I said earlier, there are two types of taxes of an individual. Now, the first taxes, this pay as you earn, is for employees of a company, while the second part is the taxes from self-employed person. Now, this self-employed person is known as direct assessment. Direct assessment is an assessment raised directly on self-employed person, e.g., professionals, contractors, traders, landlords. The self-employed person will, without notice or demand, file return of income earned in the preceding year using tax form A1. However, just to add to this, the direct assessments, oh, it will be like, oh, so if the self-employed person, does it mean that the self-employed person is actually calculating, there's a different way to calculate the tax? No, it's also the same template that is being used to calculate your payee for employees. It's also the same way that the tax will also be calculated for a self-employed person. However, the filings differs. For a payee who is an employee, the filing is different
from you as a director or a contractor, a self-employed person, which is, let's say, the owners of businesses. Your filings are different from someone who is under or who is in a business, in who is an employee. So I move to the next slide, the effective date of change for computing paying. Now I'm very sure that a lot of us is not aware of computation. And I believe that at the end of this class, we should be able to understand that payee computation has actually changed effective from 1st January 2021. Effective from 1st January 2021. And this is as a result of the Finance Act introduces the change. The Finance Act 2020 introduces the change from the way the payee computation is usually done, comparing it to how it should be. Now, the Finance Act here, which introduces these things, payee tax will be impacted. It is important to know that Section 20 of the Finance Act 2020 substituted subsection 2 and 3 of the section 33 of the PITA with a new subsection 2, which provides for a new definition of gross income for the purpose of computing the consolidated relief allowance as follows. Gross income means income from all sources, less all non-taxable income, income on which no further tax is payable, tax-exempt items listed in paragraph 2 of the 6th schedule, and all allowable business expenses and capital allowances. And the implication is this: by implication, any non-taxable income, frank investment income, allowable business expenses, capital allowances, and any tax-exempt item listed in this as such as contribution by employees to the NHF, the NHIS, life assurance premium, national pension scheme will now be deducted from the gross income before the calculation of the CRA. CRA is the higher of 1% of gross income and 200,000 plus 20% of gross income, whichever is higher. Now, the key takeaway, the changes highlighted above is effective from 1st January 2021. Hence, employers are to take note of these changes when computing January 2021 payee for their employees, where January salaries have already been paid without taking into consideration this amendment. Employers should ensure that adjustments are made for January's payee tax from salary to be paid in the subsequent months. So this is also a high opener for everyone. And I can say that, well, some may have been computing tax payee, to be precise, may have been computing the payee in the old way. Now, this place is saying your gross income is 200,000. Now, if your company or if your employer is remitting pension on your behalf, remitting NHF, even though NHF has actually is now on voluntary deduction, it's not compulsory for private entities. NHIS, life assurance, any of these deductions that your employer is actually deducting on your gross salary. This new law is saying these allowances, these non-taxable allowances are to be deducted from your gross income before you calculate your CRA. Prior before this amendment, the calculation has always been your gross income, calculate your CRA, whatever you get, you calculate your tax based on that. But that has changed effective from January 2021. So I'm just going to give us a brief, a picture of how the old and the new computation look like. So this is how it looks like. Now, the old way is your total income for the month. You calculate your consolidated, becomes your gross, then you deduct all this, and then you have your taxable income. However, the new way is saying, no, this is how it should be now. Your income, deduct this, deduct this, deduct this, deduct all, get your gross income, calculate your consolidated, get your taxable income, then calculate your tax on it, and then you determine your total net for the month. Okay, So I believe we all know how to compute the taxes. I don't want us to start going through that process. However, we understand that taxes are calculated, or the range, the range to calculate tax or to get your payee for the month is between the 7% and the 24%. I'm sure we all know how to calculate that. But if we don't, you can as well make comments on the box. Let's see if we can quickly go through the calculation again. So now I'll be going to the annual returns, which my colleague Adedayo has actually shown. So I'll be starting with how to generate a payer ID. Now, this payer ID is very, very important now, because most of just like our brother has said, that should be, I think, Mr. Omotoyosi said that he's having some, he just joined a new organization where they have employees outside of Lagos. So I'm also going to share in this my slide. I have websites of some of the states, not all, because we are now in the digital world. Majority of these states now have websites where you can just log on to generate your payer ID. Lagos State is using payer ID. Other states uses tax identification number, which is individual tax identification number. You go onto this website. We are going to go through one of the websites to see how it is done. I can just show you the process in respect to that. So this in particular is Lagos State. This is how the site for Lagos State is. Now, just as Adedaya showed us before, when you go onto the e-tax platform, it takes you to, it brings out the page. You click on the login. The moment you click on the login, it brings out this image. And now for a fresh person that don't have a payer ID, all you just need to go is log on to the site. Particularly, you have to, before you can generate a payer ID, your BVN is very important. Yes, I understand that quite a number of us have been skeptical about dropping BVN just to for yes, because it's your confidential thing. So you don't have to just keep putting it all around. However, the reason why the BVN is being used is because you can only have one BVN. Before introduction of this online processing, you find out that some taxpayers have two payer IDs, three payer IDs. As a matter of fact, some will even have more than three payer IDs. And the way the LRS platform was as at the time, it's somehow like, if you go to the bank, let's say you go to the bank to make payment, and probably since my name is Jessica Isioma Oluwadari, if I have a payer ID that has that full name, if I go to the bank to make payments, or maybe I want to pay tax on my name, and then I decided to write Oluwadare Jessica Isioma, that name will not reflect on the LRS platform that, oh, you have a payer ID already. So that is why some people will have two payer IDs, three payer IDs as at that time. So the next thing that will happen is the platform will automatically generate, or let's say the banking platform, because bankers don't have the patience to see that, oh, this person has already have a payer ID. So they will just create another payer ID. Well, as long as it's showing your name, they just create another payer ID and then give you. And in your own mind, you already felt that, oh, I've made payments. So, and then next time, if I go there to say, oh, my name is now Isioma Jessica Oluwadare, it automatically creates another payer ID for me. So just to cop that, so at some point, the LRS platform was so full, or I don't know how to put it, was so full that when you want to even process your tax card, the moment they put, the moment your name reflects, it automatically shows, brings out three payer IDs and all sorts. And then it will now be like, oh, how come are you now having a payer ID? Just only one person, one individual is having three payer IDs. So that is why they now said, okay, in that case, one, as an individual, the introduction of BVN had actually synchronized this. So it makes it easier that your BVN You can only have one BVN. You can't have two BVN. So the BVN is
I think our network is having issues. Um,
so
can
in
anybody hear
that
me?
kind of scenario, you have to link your
Can anybody hear me?
Yes.
So I think she lost her network. Let's wait a bit for us to join back. Mm. But in the meantime, while we wait for her, does anybody have any question? Based on what we've, done so far. Anybody? Okay, Dami, please shoot.
Okay. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I have few questions, but I want us to start the practical aspect before I ask
Yeah.
for the others. The ones that you
Okay.
said, I want to ask, is there any implication of under projection returns? What do I mean? Like, we plan that, okay, we have a form to fill, the CSV form to fill projection for next year, gross income, this and that. Okay, when we have done that, the year in particular, when we get there, and the difference is having a large margin, is there any implication from the tax authority to give us some assessment that this and this like that?
Okay, let me quickly answer that question. So like the name implies, it's just a projection. It's more like saying you're budgeting for the current year. Anything can happen in the course of the year. Your employees can leave, your staff can resign. So it's just a projection. It's not necessarily, it does not like you might not actually meet that projection at the end of the day, because any employee can resign, anybody can just leave the company. So if you are projecting that, okay, we have 15 employees at the moment, and we've decided that, okay, this will be their salary at the end of 2023, at the end of December 2024, maybe this is what they would have collected as salary. So anything can happen along the line. They can be, maybe the business can maybe perform well in the middle of the year and then decide to say that, okay, let's increase everybody's salary. It could even be that any employee can resign. Any employee can say, okay, maybe I'm tired of this company, maybe it's too toxic for me and everything, and I want to resign. So anything can happen along the line. So it's just a projection, right? So I feel like the whole idea of it is for the tax authority to have an idea of what they should be expecting from you before the next annual returns will come. So if they now try to see the variance between what they are expecting from you and what you actually find, so that can help them in preparation for maybe audit or something. It's just a way of them having a clue of what they are expecting from you before the next annual returns. I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh, fine, fine, fine. It's okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay, I have two questions, but um, is pertain to this annual returns, right? But you have not like my question is not based on what we have done so far. Can I go ahead or after the class?
Uh,
Hello,
go.
can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, can I go ahead or
Yes,
after
please.
the
Yes,
class?
please. Yes, please.
Okay. My first question, firstly, the company, the company has been registered for like let me say 5 years now, but the person, like the owner of the company, does not have staff. Like person just have one staff, like a PA, right? But the person actually do the filing and the rest, right, and all that is due to what's it called, tax official to help them do the filing. So now they have a new they make it official now, so they have more staff now. So they want to register on LRS. So my question is, will LRS request for like asking them for the previous years they have not registered for, like they want to register now so that they can be remitting. They have new staff now. So is there any implication for that?
I didn't get your question clearly, but I think what you
Okay,
asked.
what I'm saying is that the company, it has been registered, let me say, for 5 years now, but the owner just have one staff. It's just like a PA. So now the company is now fully official, like they have new staff now. So now they want to register on LRS and be remitting for their new staff since they have more education, like LRS telling them that they are registered to the company for so long. Why they registering now? Is there any penalty or something for that?
Okay, so if please, can you mute yourself? Okay. So if for example you started business for like 5 years now and you don't have any employee and you're just you like maybe this year 2024 you now start to have employees. So all you need to do, there's no crime in that. All you need to do is to the moment you begin to have employees, right? You need to write to the LIRS to let them know that okay, oh, the business now have employees. State the number of employees that you have. If you can give them a summary of your staff details, just for them to have an idea of the people that are just joining your company. So there's no crime in it. So they will now start to, examine you based on the number of employees that you now have, and you can now start to file your returns based on that. So for the previous years that you don't have any employee, they will not be expecting anything from you. So provided that the company does not have any, they don't have any employee at that time. So, but the moment you have employees and you want to start fulfilling your tax obligations, you need to communicate that to the tax authority that okay, now we want to start filing and pay returns based on the below number of employees, blah blah blah, and then just notify them. It's very very important. I think that's what you should do just to avoid any issue.
Okay, thank you. So what about how will the company file the annual return for this 2024?
So if you don't have any employee in 2023, you don't need to file any annual returns. You can just file zero. Just file zero there.
Sorry, repeat please.
So if you don't have any employees for 2023, or maybe let's say you don't have any payee returns to file for 2023, you can file zero. It's better for you to file zero and than not filing at all. If you don't have anything to file zero. It's just like the way we normally file new VAT. If you don't have anything to file for your company, maybe your company does not have any employees, they don't have any payee. But it's possible that some companies will have payee returns for 2023 and they don't have any withholding tax returns to file. So they will just leave the withholding tax returns as blank. They will file zero for it. So same thing applies. If you don't have any payee returns to file for the year, just file zero. Does that make sense?
All right. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I think our speaker is really having issues with our network. So I think I would just like to continue. Does anybody have any question now, so I can just go into the practical session so that we don't waste our time? Onifadi, you are raising up your hand. Rafiu Titilope.
Good day, sir.
Yeah, good day.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Yes, I'm just joining the meeting. So I want to ask that will there be a recorded video that can be sent to the mail for us to watch later?
Yes. So there will be a recorded version of the meeting that will be sent to yeah.
All right. Okay, that's all.
Onifadi
Thank you.
Mutupe. Okay, now, Patient, do you want to say something?
I want to ask.
Yeah.
So I want to find out if, for instance, an employee, or perhaps you have 3 to 4 employees that just leave an organization, are we expected to inform the tax authority? Then, secondly, if we have more employees join the company, are we expected to inform the tax authority? Because there will be, there might be increments in our pay, or the pay might reduce depending on the staff turnover within a year.
Well, to answer that question, I feel like I'm a bit indifferent about it, because you cannot just be communicating to the IRS all the time. If you have any employee turnover, maybe somebody resigns, somebody's like, imagine you're having that every month. Do you want to be communicating that to them every month? So, but I would say that if you have, a huge turnover difference, employee turnover difference, maybe you can communicate to them just for them to know about it. But if it is something that is maybe just one person resigned, or you just hired just one person, I feel like someone is not really necessary. But if the difference is much, you might want to communicate that to them. And I also feel like they too know that every company should not have the same payroll every month, because anybody can leave and anybody can join. That's the way it is.
Okay, noted. Thank you.
Okay, so now let's go into the practical session. I don't know, I think my partner is having issue with our network, so let me just continue from there. So now we'll be going into the practical session, and I will try to simplify everything for every one of us so that we can get it once and for all. So let's go. So can we see my screen? Please, can anybody see my screen? Let's
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can see you.
Yes, I can.
Okay, so let me quickly say this. I feel like it is the same everywhere. Annual returns is the same thing for all the state internal revenue service. The only difference we have is that the platform or their tech savvy nature is different for all states. In some states, they are still doing everything manual. In some states, they are all tech savvy, like they do it online, they have portal, you can do everything online. You don't need to go to their office for anything. While in some states, they are still doing manual stuff there. So that's just the major difference. The whole system of filing is still the same thing. What we are filing is the same as what they are filing in Kaduna. What we are filing in Lagos is the same thing as what they are filing in Taraba State. The only difference you will come across is that maybe the system, maybe if they are still doing manual paperwork there compared to Lagos, where everything is more like automated. Do you understand? So that's the major difference. So now I'll be focusing here on the LIRS system, right? But if you have any issues regarding the state you are coming from, please let us know after the class, and if so that we can provide you with a guideline and a solution to it. So once you log into your LIRS portal, you have your dashboard, as you can see on the screen, right? Then, like I said before, you have to play on the menu bar. just play around the logo of LIRS here. It will bring up all the menu options that you have. You have the profile, you have the assessment, you have the objections, tax office, payments, corporate returns, consultant request, and how to guide, and then you have logout. So, but our focus is what? Corporate returns. You click on corporate returns, right? And then you have the previous return that was filed for the company, right? So yeah, it will show previous returns, and then it will show the current returns you want to file. Are you getting it? So now, like I explained before, we are filing for 2023. And like I explained before, I already discussed what schedule returns is all about. Oh, sorry, didn't log me out. So I already discussed what schedule returns is all about, what annual returns is all about, what projection returns is all about, and then what withholding tax returns is all about. So everything, there's a template for it. There's a template for everything. So now let's start with schedule returns, and let me download the template and show you what it looks like.
Oh, I'm back.
Oh,
Sorry.
finally. What's wrong with your network?
The line? I don't understand network. At what point, please? Can you imagine? So I've been talking to myself all along. Wow.
Wow.
At what point? Can you just let me know what?
I think you were talking about PAYE returns and so.
Okay, where I wanted to log into the e-tax.
Yes, where you want to log in. Yeah. So let me stop.
Huh?
Yes, that's where you stop.
Oh, okay. I don't know what happened to my network. Off. I'm trying to also log into the e-tax. It's giving me want. Wow. That's really strange. Apologies everyone. I don't know what happened. I guess it's our Nigerian network.
So do you want to share your screen again so that we can continue?
Okay. So let me I don't know, the network is just rolling. That's really strange. Wow. Okay, so let me share my screen now. I think it's okay now. It's back now. Okay, so I'll be sharing my screen. Okay. Let me share the entire screen. Okay, so now can everyone see my screen?
Yes, please.
Okay, all right. Okay, so this was the platform that Adedayo shared with us previously. So now we just come into the login. Now, as a new I want to generate a payer ID, or okay, maybe I don't know my payer ID. Probably I forgot my payer ID. I can click here. If I it brings me here. Now, if I want to create a new payer ID, it brings me here. So you can either choose both. Now, this was the platform I was talking about. Create new accounts, individual. You can pick if it's corporate entities. Yeah, for corporate, it just requires you to put in your CAC registration number. Now, for me as an individual, I probably, let me say, I forgot my, there's a page for NIN. Now, NIN might not really work for this. Reason is because sometimes the date of birth on your NIN is different from the date of birth, and this has always been the issue that a lot of individuals have. If you know you want to change your date of birth, yes, nobody is saying you shouldn't change your date of birth, but it's one thing for you to change your date of birth and remember the date of birth you've used, so that such date of birth can actually go round for every information you want to fill, well, depending. But for your BVN, it's unique to you. So you need to put a date of birth that is on your BVN. That date of birth is what should be here. Now, my BVN, if I put in my BVN, and then my date of birth, we don't have to hide date of birth. In this life, is either someone is older than you or you are older than somebody. So, and then I'm not a robot, and then proceed. Now, this is exactly what I'm saying. It now said a taxpayer ID, this blah blah blah. And it doesn't take it won't take long before it will show. So you have to be ready to write that payer ID now. Now he's saying that I already have a payer ID that ends with 623. Yes, I actually have a payer ID. My payer ID is fortunately I don't have, let me say, forget, let me, because I can't remember. My forget password is password. You can also do a reset password as long as your payer ID has been linked to portal. You can do your forget password at any time. Two things will happen the moment I proceed. Two things will happen. It takes, is either I get a notification on my number or my email. Verification code have been sent to your email. Now, if I come to my email, if I check my email, the OTP is just 4 OTP. It has a time limit. So you need to be very fast about it if you want to change your payer ID. So now the OTP I have here is, now they sent it to my mail. The OTP I have is 186254. Now, the moment you get this OTP, it shows that your payer ID has been automatically sent to your email. Your payer ID is linked already. Now, I want to change my password. Now, your password needs to contain a capital letter, a small letter, a number, and any character of your choice. So sometimes I just do a capital letter because my name is Jessica. I can just say J at 123. Oh, my heart is not working now. Okay, I can say J. Okay, I think it should be more than J at, let me say Jessica or Jessie at 123. So you can decide to change it at any time. Make sure they are the same, and then you proceed. So it takes you back to the page where you are going to log in. I hope we can still see my screen.
Yes, yes, yes. I can see it.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. All right, great. All right. Okay, so now it takes me back to where I'm supposed to log in. Now, all I need to do is input my payer ID, which is 4130623. And then my password, the newly generated password, which is Jesse at 123. And then log in. All right. Okay. All right. So this is my page. Unfortunately, I'm not uploading my profile picture because I've not gotten my task clearance yet, but I'll get it, don't worry. So this is my page. This is how they look like. Your pay ID, my full name, my age, my occupation, date of birth, BVN, identification number now, which is also the same thing as the BVN, my address, female, like this, you are also fine. Now, filing of returns. I'm still going to go back to filing of returns. In this place, the moment my employer filed my returns, I am also mandated to also file my returns. Oh, the good part now is they've actually updated the profile. Now, this is now here. Employer filed returns. Now, this is all the returns that my employer had filed from my previous employment 19, 20, 21, 22, which is also making sense. This was my previous employer as a 2022. So 2023 has not been imputed because, so here is the reference number, this is the pay ID of the entity. This is even fine. It can actually show you that, oh, you can also confirm rather than going to, let's say, rather than going to your employer saying, have you filed my return? Have you filed my return? Let me see. Let me see if you have filed my return. Please let me know if you have filed my returns. Instead of doing that, you can always come here and come to the employer filed returns. Click on it. It will bring out your former employee. This is also very fine. It makes you to actually know that, oh, this person had filed. Then you can easily get your task clearance. You don't need to start calling them because I'm sure some entity don't file returns. They won't file, and it's also something that is not good because if they don't file, how will you as an employer, how will you as an employer get your task clearance certificate? This site is always logging off. It doesn't take time at all. I don't know what's wrong with the LIRS. So basically, that's just for individual. You are also going to come here and file your returns. Now, let's go to corporate entities. For a corporate company, I'm going to use my friend's company as I've actually seek his permission to use it. Well, he has not answered maybe I should use it or not, but I'm sure he's understanding. So let me just use it for our own explanation so that we can have an idea of how the filing of returns is. So just like I said, just to have them to for emphasis sake, I've also said for entities that have not filed their returns, you can although that doesn't have a payer ID, you can always put in your payer ID. You can always create your payer ID. What's happening? Oh, okay. I made a mistake. The password. So your password needs to contain a cap letter. Now, this is for a corporate entity. How will you differentiate a corporate entity and an individual? You differentiate it with the payer ID. For individual, the payer ID starts with capital N, letter N, N for net, N for number. For corporate entity, it starts with capital C, C for corp, C for cap, C for corporate. So now for a corporate returns, you come here. Now you can also file prior year returns. However, it comes with penalty. You can also file prior year returns, but because it's 2023, we want to file. You select 2023, come to this page. The first one is saying schedule returns. Now, when you click on the schedule returns, they have a template. You download the template. You open the template. As you can see, it says schedule.csv. CSV. So that is the format. For other states is saying upload your schedule in an Excel format. This is also an Excel format, but they specifically say it's a CSV format they want. Now, this is how your schedule is. The schedule is just simple. Revenue type, date of payment. Before, there was no development and business premises in the schedule, but now they've inserted it. So what they are saying is for development levy, put the date you've made your development levy, put the amount, put the receipt number, and the period of payments. Ordinarily,
No, we're not
development
seeing
levy.
it.
We're not
We
seeing
can't
this
see your screen.
photo.
Oh, wow.
You are not sharing all the screen.
I'm not sure. Really? Oh. One second, please. Let's see what happened.
I think you have to share all this, your entire screen.
All
I
my
think that's what you're saying.
entire screen. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because they cannot see the Excel file.
Okay. Let me share all the entire screen. Sorry. Okay. Can we see it now?
Yes.
Yes, now we
Yes.
can.
All right. Thank you. So this is the schedule list or schedule receipt schedule page. Development levy is 100 naira per staff, which is also applicable to all other. I don't know if other states are collecting it. Excuse me. But I think they are collecting it, but the amount is different. The last time I went to Ado-Ekiti for a tax audit, the development levy there is 500 naira. So I'm even surprised. And the business premises is around, the business premises fee there was, I think it was 20,000 naira or so. I was shocked. And then I said, but Lagos State is 5,000 naira and 100 naira. They said, you can't compare Lagos State to Ado-Ekiti. I said, oh, okay, that's a good point. Anyway, so for Lagos State, development levy is 100 naira, business premises is 5,000 naira. 5,000 naira means that you've been paying it. If you are a new company, if you are a new entity that you've not filed, you've not registered with LRS at all, business premises for the first time is 10,000 naira. Then subsequent year is 5,000 naira. 100 naira flat, whether you're a new entity or an existing one, 100 naira per year per employee. So the amount paid, the receipt number, period of payment. Now, then after this one, after this development levy business premises, the next line that will follow should be your January 2023 payment, January to December. January 2023 payment, January, February, March, April, May, to December of payment, or revenue type can be payee. Okay, I think revenue type is payee. So you put payee all through. The dates of payment, the dates you make the payment, the amount you paid, the receipt number, the period of payment is January through December. Now, when you put in your information, don't sum the amount. You don't need to sum it up. Just leave the amount the way it is. You don't need to sum it up at all. So when you're done, just save this file. You look for a place, you can save it as whatever name you require. The moment you save it, if you save it on your desktop, you come back to this, you come back to the platform, to the LRS platform. Oh, the thing has logged me. Okay. And then choose file. It will take you to wherever you save it. So you select wherever place you save it from. You pick it up from there and then submit. The moment you submit, what you have uploaded will automatically reflect under this place. It will reflect as, oh, this person has filed these returns. And then you go to the next returns. You click annual returns. There's always a template to download. You download the template, you open the template, so this is the way the template for annual returns is just a consolidated, or should I say a summary of all the annual gross income. A lot of people make mistake and put monthly income there. So it's just gross income, chargeable income, annual tax. Now, this chargeable income was not in the last year annual returns. Now, the reason why they are saying this chargeable income is, okay, just as I said earlier, because of the new change in the computation. Your gross income cannot also be your chargeable income. This chargeable income is saying, okay, this is the amount that is chargeable to tax, that my tax has been charged on. So you can have a gross income of 200,000 for the, or let's say 1 million for the year, and your chargeable tax might be like 800,000, or chargeable income rather can be like 800,000. So that is what your tax is paid on. Then your middle name, your number of months worked. You might work for 12 months, you might work for 6 months, you might work for anything. Now, I want to also lay emphasis on employees that work for two different companies. Now, let me start with employees that, for example, like me in my previous employment, before I joined my new employment, I worked there from January to July this 2023, and then I moved. Now, my previous employment, if they want to file my returns, in my number of months you worked here, they are going to put 7, that I worked for 7 months. Now, my new employment will now say I worked for, okay, no, I left there in June. That's 6. My previous employment, if they want to find my return, in my number of months work, they will put 6, making it a total of 12 months that I have worked. Now, if you work for, that's for me that are working in the previous employment and then I switch. Now, there are some companies that have subsidiaries. You are working for the parent company, you are also working for the other the sister company, and both companies you are earning salary from both companies. How are you going to file your returns? Now, the mistake some people will make is you can't put number of months work when your parent company is filing your returns. You can't put number of months work here as 12, and then when the sister company want to file returns, you put 12 as well. The e-tax will reject it. As a matter of fact, by the time the parent company filed, if it's the parent company that filed your returns first, it will automatically go. It will go. But the moment the sister company filed your returns and your name is included, and then your sister company puts 12 months, that filing will not fly. It will reverse back and say there is an error in the filing. And that error is simply that, and the error will now be employee has worked more than 12 months. So this means that the e-tax only recognizes 12 months. Now, in that kind of scenario, the onus is now on you or the employer to say, oh, your name will only appear in the parent company, which means both your income in the subsidiary and the income you've earned in the parent company, you add both together, and then the parent company will file for you. Or the income you earn from your parent company and that of the sister company, you add both together and they file it in the sister company. Or better still, you can either say, okay, parent company, file 6 months for me here, then sister company, file 6 months for me. The truth of the matter is e-tax only recognizes 12 months. If it's exceeding 12 months, that returns will not fly. It will pop up an error message. So that is one point I also want us to note for those that are working in two, let's say, two related entities. Now, for taxpayer ID, like I said, you might have a taxpayer, a payer ID, and is not linked. The moment you put in a payer ID that is not linked, automatically it will not, it will bring out an error message. It will bring out an error message saying that this employee payer ID is not linked to the e-tax platform. So most of all these things are things that could actually hinder your annual returns not being filed. So my advice is that if you have the list of your employees, if you're an accountant or a tax consultant or a tax manager, any of the above or any of the mentioned, get the list of your staff, get their payer ID. For those that are receiving notification on their email, their payer ID is already linked. You don't need to go through the stress of linking it again. Now, confirm from each of the employees that who amongst you is getting the notification or the email each time you file. However, sometimes you might not even go through that process. Maybe when you're filing your payroll for the month, I'm still going to come to that. When you file your payroll for at the every month, the moment you file, it will bring out the error message that so person payer ID is not linked, or so person does not have a payer ID. Very careful when it comes to payer ID. The truth of the matter is payer ID is unique to individual, and the way it is now is if one is not careful, if you mistakenly put another person's payer ID on your page, I hope and I hope that the platform will be able to take it out and say payer ID name is different from the payer ID imputed. But sometimes, you know, this is a computer thing. Sometimes it might not also do so. So we have to be very, very careful with the payer ID that we are inserting for our employees. So when we are done with this, just the same procedure of the schedule. Come here, do a save as, go back to the platform, and then upload. Does not me out.
Download that.
That's the way they used to do. They don't have cheap pill at all. So you come back to the same page and then upload. It's just as simple as that. So most of the challenge people have is, oh, I file returns. In fact, I could tell you that in 2022, when this whole e-tax, is it 2022 or 2021 sef, when this whole e-tax of 18 started, we all have the challenges that we couldn't file returns for all the staff, because at that point everybody was, oh, how am I going to file returns? This one, you don't have a pay ID, you don't do this, you don't do that. So when you're done with the annual returns file, you come to the projection, just as Adedaya has explained.
Sorry, can I ask a question? Sorry for cutting you.
Okay,
Hello?
Adedaya, can we ask
Sorry,
a
man.
question now? Or
Sorry,
just
please.
write down?
Please, can we take question after, please? Sir?
Okay.
Yeah, we'll take question after, please. Thank you. Just note it down. Okay, so for projection, it's still the same procedure. Projection is, oh, as an employer, I'm planning to increase the salary of my employees. They've done really well in 2020, 2023. So let me increase them so that they can all be happy. But sometimes, you know, we as a consultant or as an accountant, when you go and meet your boss and say, please, on this projection, like how many percent should I add to the salary? Oh, some boss might be like, well, just put the salary of December, you know, because it's either they are not planning to increase or they don't know how much they want to increase at that time. So sometimes you can just put in your December salary, you multiply it by 12, you put it here, because everything here is on annual basis. So it's just the same process, your surname, other destination, phone number, and all of that. And also, this one thing I also want us to understand is this schedule that I'm showing everyone in an Excel format is the same schedule that other states are using. It's not different. It's the same schedule. The only difference is I don't know if the Excel format that those states, although they just categorically stated there that it should be in an Excel format. I don't know if it's actually the CSV as LIRS is using, or maybe it's just the regular plain Excel sheet. But all the information, both on the schedule, both on the annual returns, both on this projection. Every information on this Excel is the same thing throughout the whole states, throughout the whole 36 states. It's not different. It's the same schedule throughout the whole 36 states. So if you want to go, if you are in a state where you want to file your returns, if you're finding it difficult to go online, to upload online, you can just do all these schedule, list them, print them out, do a forwarding letter, and then submit at your respective tax stations. So the whole Excel is the same thing throughout the whole state. So when you're done, the save as well, the same procedure, choose a file, submit all your returns that you filed. Everything will show, everything will reflect under this place. So when it reflects, there's a box that will now show by the time you upload everything. Same also for withholding taxes. The withholding tax is deducted for the year. You also download the template, you put in all the information that is also required, you do a save as, you come here, you upload it. Everything, the sum total of everything will be here. Now, like I said before, on your Excel sheet, do not total. You don't have to total it. You don't have to total it. The type of withholding tax it is, you put it. There are different type of withholding tax: withholding on rent, withholding on contracts, withholding on professional fees, withholding on services, withholding on dividend, with all sort of withholding. Just put the type of withholding, the date and everything. When you're done with the amount, do not total it. If you total this page, if you total it and then save, it will not, it will say there is an error in your schedule and it won't go. Just put in the figures. Put in the figures, do not total. Put in the, it will total itself. So by the time you get to this page, to this last page, everything you have uploaded, everything you have filed will show here. And when it shows, then there's a space where it will say confirm submission. The moment you confirm submission, your returns has been filed and it has automatically gone to the tax office that is reflecting on your profile. Now, for this my client, the tax office is the Ilupeju tax office. Ilupeju will automatically receive the annual returns that has been filed. Now, if your company does not have a tax station reflecting here and you file your returns, your returns will just be flying in the air. No tax office will see it until you go to your preferred tax station and tell them that, oh, I have filed a return zone, but I haven't gotten any feedback. So it is very important that our profile is updated. Sometimes companies' profile are not updated, like the name, the email, the address. All these are something that will actually not make the company to file the returns appropriately. So you need to put in all information and let it be clearly stated. So you select your tax office for this person. Because it's a new company, when I generated the pay ID, I selected the tax office. But for companies that is already in existence and there is no tax station here, you need to go to the tax office that is closest to you. They will insert the tax office themselves. At that point, you can't do it. So you file your returns, it goes to each of these tax offices. The moment there is no tax office here, your annual returns will be flying in the air. Nobody will treat it, nobody will see it. So that's that on annual returns. Now, to add to it, if your employer had filed your annual returns, it is also important and it is also necessary that you as an employee, you are also mandated to file your own returns. You also have to file your returns. Now, why is it mandated? You know, it's possible that quite a number of us might be having other income. You might be having other income. For we as consultants now, we are in an employment and we are still doing consulting. Any money we get, it is mandated that, oh, as a good citizen, as a Lagosians, let me do the needful by finding my additional income. But you know, sometimes I think I can just find my salary alone. Let every other income be other income. So that is why they now said, oh, okay, individual, Also, when you're done, when your employer has finished filing your own, you also as an individual, go to your own platform too, log in, file your returns as well. The same. Now for me now, let me log out so I can log in and see if I want to file my returns now. Since it's just salary, I can just put in salary here. Let me log in as an individual. If you want to file your returns, your pay ID is very important, and also your password, do not forget. Okay, log in. So when my employer is done filing my returns, I will just come here as well. The moment my employer has filed the returns, you can come here just like I said earlier. You will see it, you will confirm it that, oh, my employer has filed. Okay, let me file my own. You just come here. Oh, mine is not even showing anything. That's serious. That's really strange. Okay, file. Oh, he's here. He's here. Oh, very nice. So I will just come here. You see that it's different from the one for corporate entities. If you have any attachments you want to file, maybe like your pay slip or your bank statement to show that, oh, it's actually my salary that I'm earning. So whatever it is, you just come here, you put in your salary, your commission. If you're getting commission, you put it. If it's trade income, allowances, pension. Now this pension is actually pension income, not pension deduction. Also, I forgot to state that also in the corporate. Okay, no, it's not in the corporate, it's always in the individual one. So this pension is pension income, not the pension that is being deducted. Now this pension income could be for pensioners. Yes, pensioners, basically they are the one that earn pension, so they can put their income there. If you have annuity, you put it your gratuity. If you have foreign income, for those that have japa and you are getting income from the japa, put it there. Dividend, interest, rent. If you're a landlord, a house owner, you can put it there. Then other income. If you have any other income, you can click add. The moment you add, then next. When you click next, it takes you to this place. Mandatory disclosure of accommodation, your address, your accommodation type, ownership. Are you the tenant? Are you the landlord? Others. If it's others, you put it there. The owner of your house. Are you the owner? You just put self-owned. Owner pay ID. If you are the owner, put your pay ID. Owner's address. If you're the owner of the building or the house, put your address. The rent paid, you are the owner, so you don't pay rent, zero. Rent paid by employer. Now, there are some individuals or some directors that the rent or where they are living is being paid by the company. It's the company that pays the house rent. So if rent is paid by the employer, it's going to come under this place. You are a tenant. The owners of your accommodation, you put it there. So the amount that is this paid will be here. So the date is going to be from January 2023 to December 2022 and 2023 rather. So January, you just select first, then the last date is going to be December 31st because that is actually the period they're doing. Now, Lagos State, or should I say all states, is 12 months calendar, and the 12-month calendar is January to December. So if your rent is like prorated, or is like, let's say, for example, your rent is from April to May, it could be April 2022 to May 2023. If you put it here, the tax promise will not accept it. So all you just have to do is just to put the January to December. You can prorate the amount here. So for any additional information that is required, maybe if there's any question in respect to that, you can just have your rent agreement to show that it's actually not from January to December, it's from April 2022 to May 2023. You understand? So, but for states actually, year of accounting year is just the 12 calendar months, which is January to December. So that's that on that. And then You save. When you save, it pop up here, you confirm submission. Now, the good part of you filing your annual returns as an individual is you don't need to stress yourself when you want to generate tax clearance. The moment you file your returns, your employer has also filed their returns appropriately. You can upload your picture by yourself. Upload your picture, come here, generate your TCC. Mine is not going to be completed because I haven't uploaded my picture. My address is okay. Outstanding this is completed. Individual returns for 3 years. I have not filed. Reason is because I myself as an individual, I have not filed. Outstanding assessment bill for 3 years is completed. Annual returns to direct assessment for 3 years. This is pending, which is also an element of my individual returns for 3 years. So this is an element of this. So this is annual returns, your employer annual returns, and then your direct assessment, you as an individual, it will recognize it. Then this individual returns is still the same thing. So basically both of these are interwoven, they are working together. So the moment you file, you generate your TCC automatically, no time, within seconds you've generated your TCC. So that is that on that. Well, on withholding tax, yes, withholding tax filing. Now for, okay, let me log out and log in. Let me quickly show us, I want to quickly show us, for those that want to file payroll at the end of the, at every month. Let me quickly show us how payroll is being done. You know, the challenge we have while filing payroll is because sometimes the payer IDs are not correct. And what Tax Promax usually does is it will automatically expunge the names of those individuals, those employees that the payee, that the payer ID does not align. It will automatically expunge it. However, it will expunge the amount. So you will pay the amount, but the name will not reflect there. For you to see how funny those people can be. It will expunge the name of that person, but you will still pay the same amount. So they want to collect the money. It's your own edict that you did not do what. So now if for the month I want to check, now let's start with this one. Let me take all these things precept by precept. Now for profile is where your information and everything is. For assessment, if an assessment has been raised, like those demand notice that we receive, demand notice for each year, it will reflect here. The moment you get a demand notice, check here, because if you want to object, you need to object here first before objecting the hard copy. So it's always sometimes not, some of the officials, the LRS official will be like, oh, have you objected online? If you say no, you've not objected, it's always very somehow, they feel somehow that, oh, you should have objected online. Reason is because aside from the fact that they as officer are working on it, it will make it easier for their superiors to also view it. So whatever you put on your, whatever, whenever you object, anybody can see it, anybody can see it in the server. So they don't need to say, oh, where's the hard copy of, where's the hard copy of this thing, where's the hard copy of that. You understand? So the moment you get a demand notice, it is always advisable that you come here, check for the period, because it's a 30 days period. So you check for it and then you object as well. So whatever assessment it is always reflecting here. Now here, objection. If you object there, your objection will reflect here. Your objection will reflect here. The moment you reject on this assessment page, whatever you've objected to will reflect on this page. So you will see what you've objected to, and every other person as the LRS official will also see. Now, tax office. These are the tax offices of, these are the tax offices in Lagos State. So you can check all this to know their address. You can check all these places. So you can check their current address. Most of them have new addresses. If you have anyone you don't know where their address is, each of their addresses here and the phone number, you can equally call them or visit their office. They are all active. So, oh God, LIRS, log me out. Oh, now wow, this is serious. 5304. I'm still going to take us through for other states. However, I won't really go deep because I don't have any information that I can use, but I'm going to use one of the states to view how the interface or how the this thing is. So tax office, just like I said, all tax offices are there. Now for payments, generate bill. I'm sure a number of us is familiar with this place because of the monthly filing. So we come here, we select the tax office which we want to file. We select the revenue type because I've not selected this, it's not bringing out this. So if I select Ilupeju tax office, it brings out all the other revenue type I want to pay. Now pay as you earn, you click pay as you earn, it will tell you click here to update your profile if necessary, and then it will ask you to download a sample template. So you cannot just pay without uploading the schedule. Now if you want to upload the schedule here, when you will see that this schedule is different from the other schedules we have been opening since. You see it now. Yes, this is the schedule of the payee, which is the payroll that we all know as payroll. Now you're saying basic salary, housing, transport, furniture, education, lunch, passage, leave. Omo, I wish I can be getting all these allowances. Look at how the allowances are long. Bonus, 10 to 13th month, utility, others, NHF, NHIS, pension, life assurance, gross income, and the tax paid. So you can just input all this information. For you that your salary or your gross salary is not divided into basic housing transport, you can just put in all the salary. If it's 200,000, just put 200,000 here, or 300,000, or if it's per month, maybe let's say 100,000 per month. Abi, how much did I put here? Oh God, oh Lord of money. Let me be receiving 3 million per month. So for those that don't have basic housing and all of that, so you can just put the 300,000 and then come to or probably drag it. You can either drag it, that means you have to put zero in all of this space. You have to put zero all through. So you can then sum it up. So 30,000. Let's say for 30,000, the tax for 300,000 per month could be like let's say 85. Within that range, 85,000. Put your tax. That's all. The name, your payer ID. Now this payer ID is very, very important. Your name, your full name, your payer ID, your nationality, destination, number of months. Number of months, this is a monthly thing. Just put one. Just put one. Your destination could be tax consultant, tax consultant, and then my nationality. I want to be a British nationality. I don't want to stay in Nigeria anymore. I'll put British there. Let me put Nigeria because it's paying. Don't let me deny my country. Nigeria, then you put your payer ID and name. So when you're done, you just save the file. So after saving the file, you come back to this place. You choose file. Now, for clarity's sake, it's saying upload the file below and submit maximum of 5 MB. So it means that your file must not be more than 5 MB. Do not sum. In whatever schedule you're uploading, don't sum. it will automatically sum itself. So just choose the file to take it to where you save it, put it in and upload. When you upload, every information you upload will reflect beneath. After this remark, it will reflect here. So you can have another view of it to be sure that what you have or all the information you've imputed are correct. Then you can also confirm that your payee deduction or the amount you want to remit is in line with what is reflecting. So when you've done that, you just click generate payee. It's not going to generate a payee bill for me because I didn't upload any file. So when you generate payee, it takes you to the generate bill page. That generate bill page is where it will now reflect everything. You make your payment. The moment you make your payment, all employees that their payer ID has been linked to the e-tax, they will automatically receive the alert of the payee remittance. They will. So you can make payments online or print out the payment bill reference number, take it to the bank and make payments. When you make payments, payments on e-tax reflects 24 hours after payment. So while you are making payments, you will also get an immediate LIRS receipt. Yes, you can get an immediate LIRS receipt immediately. You can get an immediate. Then that's all. So where you don't have the receipt is not going to come in colored. You only get a colored receipt if you go to the bank to make payments. However, the colored is just a paper, is the LIRS paper. By the time the bank are making the payments, the same receipt black and white is what they are going to print. Is the black and white they will print. The only difference is just that that one is the LIRS paper. They are printing it on LIRS paper. So if you get a black and white, the most important thing is you've remitted your payee for the month. You have your receipt is an evidence for you. So if you want to check for payment history to confirm that, oh, this period, let me see from what period to what period, let me see the payments I've actually made, or maybe you want to print out receipts for each of those months you've paid for. You just filter. This my friend had only paid for January 2023. You can imagine. So you can just click here. You click it to bring out the receipt for you. Yeah, this is the receipt. So you just print it out and then you are good to go. So if you want to make payments, the connection isn't private. Oh wow, that's serious. Well, I don't know why that is bringing out that. So if you want to make payments, oh yeah, now I know why it's bringing out that, because you need to generate bill before you make payment. That's why. Corporate returns. That's if I want to file returns. How to guide. If you want to know the procedure just the way we are explaining now, it's the same way. These are the guides of each of the document, individual, corporate, consultant.
I can't see the share screen. I've been raising my hand to ask questions.
Oh, you can't see the screen again?
I can see your screen. I think you've used it.
I can't see. I can't see.
Oh, what's happening?
But I can see your screen actually. Can anybody else?
Can anybody let me know? Aside
I
from
can
that,
see your
who else can
screen.
see my screen?
I
I
think
can
it
see
is
your
not
screen. I think
I
that's
think
from
Okay,
again.
Dami can see my screen. Okay, Motolani, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Oh wow. Mr. Azan, I don't know what's happening.
I think
Probably
it might be a network or something.
maybe it's the network, I guess. So basically, that's that on e-tax, on annual returns filing. So for withholding tax too, if you want to make payment for withholding tax, it's still the same procedure. You select your tax office, click whatever withholding you want to. There are lots of withholding here, so you need to be specific on which one you want to pay. There's withholding on dividend, withholding on director's fee, this. So let's pick withholding on rent. It also requires a this thing. So don't forget to select the date in which you are making payment for. So for withholding, it's not so, they don't really, it's not so much like the way FRS does theirs. The withholding list is quite straightforward and simple. All you just need to do is get the payer ID of the individual, the name of the individual, and the amount. That's all. So the moment you get it, you save it. Beneficiary. Who is the beneficiary? Who is receiving the money? The landlord. You put the landlord name, the amount, the payer ID of the landlord, and then you save us and go back to that page and upload. So it's as simple as that. Select the month that you're paying for, and then you generate your bill. So that is all on LIRS platform. I'm just going to leave the platform. I know it's going to log me out, but I'll just leave it so in case there's any question. So for back to my slide. So this is just a brief. Okay, this is CSV, not CSV, not CRV. Oh wow. Let's come to the states, other states. I'll be using. Let me pick River State for example. River State is straightforward. In fact, all states, I'm really amazed and I'm excited that these states are beginning to. Okay, I think I've already checked through the website. These states are beginning to to do more. Okay, yeah. So this is it. When you click on the River State is using Riftamis or Riftamice or something, which is a acronyms for River State Tax Management Information. So when you come here, you can just you click on it. It shows you everything you need to know. As a matter of fact, they've clicked each of the step that you require to complete everything you want to. You see the notification. So now here it's saying click here to download file. So you click the file. This is their own user guide. This will actually help you to know how you want to file. Now back to the step. Now, you need to first of all register. If you're registered, if you're an existing taxpayer, you can just sign in. This is the part where I said they use this email and password. So if you haven't, let's say, if you haven't registered as email and the password, you can just click here, register. Okay, we enter name to search. You can search for the name of the company, of your company. When you search for it, it probably will pop up if it's on the database. So I think then yeah, how to register. There's a corporate registration, corporate organization. These are the steps. I can actually help you to navigate through the registration process. Now, if it's for individual, let's see what will pop up. Okay, click individual category, enter. Okay, now we click register individual. You can see that even the platform is similar to the LRS platform. It's similar to the LRS platform. So in this case, because I don't want to put in my information because I'm not Port Harcourt based, I'll be River State based. So you just put in all your information, your password, your confirm password, your TIN. I guess by the time you get to this stage, if you don't have a TIN, it will automatically generate a TIN for you. Yes, I know, because this is individual registration. So by the time you confirm your password, put in your email, they probably will send something to your email, give you a password, and I'm sure it will automatically select if you're a male or a female. I'm sure it will automatically um, generate your TIN. So by the time it generates your TIN, you just come back to the sign in. The email you have used is what you will put, and then your password, and then you log in. And then you log in. So when you log in, it takes you to the other page where you can see every other information. So RIRS, which is River State Internal Revenue Service, is also a very fine platform and it's easy for you to navigate. So aside from this, let's see, let's check, let's just check two other states. That is, let's check Adamawa. Or yes, let's check Adamawa. Adamawa State also is also, when I check the platform as well, the platform is also friendly, user friendly. Just Adamawa State Internal. Yeah. The platform is also they uses Adamawa BIR, which is Adamawa Board of Internal Revenue. Yeah. Adamawa State Board of Internal Revenue. Their own is also the same thing. This is the chairman. So every one of them have their own way you can generate your. It says get your TIN here. So when you click it, because I guess they use this TIN, you click it, it takes you to wherever you want. So there's a page where it says let's see. Assessment forms, yeah, other this, blah blah blah. So you can just get through each of those states. FCTIRS is also a very nice platform as well. FCTIRS also is a very fine platform. You go there, you search for whatever you want to search, and you're good. So for those that have exactly, so FCTIRS, you come to e-service, create accounts, pay your taxes, verify this, blah blah blah, tax this, register for TIN individual. So you just come here. You can see everything here now requires BVN. You can see they also requires BVN. So your BVN and your date of birth are very key. So you put in your BVN, your date of birth that is linked to your BVN, your first name, and then your last name. I'm not a robot, search. So most of all these platforms have, they are all similar. They are all similar in terms of annual returns. So we can easily navigate through. However, there are some states that do not have online platform. I really can't remember. I can't remember those states. I think about 5 of them. 5 of them are not online. Even Kano. Kano has a very nice website too. You can also navigate. Kaduna too, same thing. They are all nice platform where you can also navigate, and they are user friendly. It's very straightforward, and you can easily go through and then get those things. So I think with this, we should be able to file our returns without any issues. Basically, like I said, and I'll keep saying, the filings are all the same. The Excel sheets Lagos State is using, or the templates they are using, is also the same templates all other states are using. So there is no difference in them. The information that is in each of those platforms is also the same information that is in other states. Yes, so I think this, I'm going to pen down here so we can give room for questions. Adedayo or Dolapo, over to you. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jessica, for that. That was a great one. We even went further to go beyond annual returns. You taught us how to file PAYE, how to file withholding tax.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an additional bonus to everybody. Thank you so much. You even went further to other states. Wow, that's
Yes.
so nice. Thank you so much for that. So now we are going into question and answer session. And please, I want you to ask question. Anything you want to ask in this life, try to ask so that we can answer it based on our own experience and knowledge. So I would like to entertain, we are 43 on the call currently. I would like to entertain, let's say 20 questions. So please, if you have questions, raise up your hands. We've got it's not just me and Jessica that will be answering questions here. We've got some professionals too on the call that would help. I think Jamil is on the call. Just ask questions so that we can, help you. So now, based on people that have raised up their hands, I will be starting from okay, Onifade Modupeola, please, let's go. Your question, please. Onifade, are you there?
Father, you're talking. I guess you are muted or something. Or okay, maybe the next person
Okay,
should.
Omofa Rikemi, please, your question.
Okay, good evening. Have spoke on this when you were asking about our
The line is breaking.
oh hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, your line is breaking, so it's breaking.
My
Your line is really, really breaking.
I guess someone is trying to call as well.
Oh, okay. I think it's better
Yeah,
now.
that's okay. Okay, good evening, everyone. So from the my last question, I'll go back to it. I was asking about this payee monthly filing. I was trying to pay porter.
Okay.
The last one I did was why there was a lot of backlog was that they were requesting for documentation also complete some of it. So I think so we could I did filing last year. So I was trying to assess the one that have been done before. I went through the payment assessment. I could not it wasn't bringing it out of which payment had already been made. So I want to know why it's not reflecting, why I cannot access it on the portal. But if I go back to my mail, I can still see the message, the notification on my mail that I've made with payment up until April last year. But for on the portal, I could not access it. I don't know why. So that's one of the question I'm asking. Then the second one is that how are we going to verify the current payment? Like if I want to make payment for this starting from um, um pay, is it still going to be because the last one we did was 7,000 per month. So I want to know if it is going to and charges. I think that's all my question. That's question from my hand. Thank you.
Okay, so if I could get you correctly, you said payment was made on the portal, but it's not reflecting on your portal. However, you can see it on your mail.
Yes,
Okay, that's for corporate, abi for your organization.
that's for my organization.
Okay, then the second one, I didn't get it clear. The line was breaking at that point.
Okay, the second one is that the payment we made, that was the monthly payee I did was deduction was 7,000 naira. So I want to be
Okay.
sure the amount I'm going to be paying as from May 2023. If there has not been any increment, how are we going to get the information on that, the update on new charges, so that I will not go and I will not go and make the wrong payment. So that's my question, my second question.
Okay, the second question that I had, you said pay deduction was 7,000 naira, which was in April, right?
Yes,
Okay, so then you're saying from May to when?
till up until December 20.
December.
I have not.
Okay.
So I want to be sure if we can still proceed with that monthly payment.
Yes. Okay, let me start with the first question. Now,
Okay.
for that first question, you have to, there's no way you make payments and you're seeing it on your mail and it's not reflecting on the portal. Just like I explained there, if you go to the platform, that page, let me share my screen so that you will understand
Okay.
what I'm saying again. If you go to your e-tax platform, so if you go to your e-tax, if you log in, you
Yes.
just go to the payments page.
Yes.
Now, when you 1 second, please, is trying to open. Okay. All right. You can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you go to the payment page, this is the way it's. This is where you will see your previous payment. Okay, so you will come to payments. Then you come to payment history.
Yeah, it was actually showing before, but I don't know why I could not access it now. As at this week, I could not access. I really don't know what
Okay, maybe it's the network. Maybe it's the
happened.
network. So you just pick whatever. Like when you make payments on e-tax, it reflects 24 hours, 24 hours. So if you make payments
Okay.
now, you won't view, you can be lucky that you will get the receipt immediately you're making payments. There's a way Remita does it. Remita will generate the receipt immediately. But sometimes it might be network might be there might be a network glitch. So the receipt might not come up immediately. But 24 hours later or after, if you log in, it will bring out all the payment that was made, all the payment that was made on that payer ID. It will bring it out. So you can just try it again and see. It will bring out
Okay.
all the payment that was made, even if it's a 2018 payment or a 2016 payment, as long as that payment was made on that payer ID. The moment you come here, you can go and search for your receipt as far back 2010, since when this thing has been in existence. As long as it's the same payer ID and the payment was made, because this platform has been synchronized in such a way that all your payments is reflecting. Even, the e-tax started 2019 or 2020. That was when it started. Irrespective, as long as it's the same payer, you can go as far back 10 years to check any payment that was made. It will bring it out as long as it's the
Yeah.
same payer ID. So you just
So
bring,
payment history. Right? Payment.
yes, payment
Okay.
history, then search for the period. Maybe you paid it in, let's say, probably in 2023. Maybe you select the month in which the payment occurred. Then you can just pick the period. You can pick current period and then filter.
All
So
right.
when you
All right.
filter, it bring out all the payments. It will, except if there's a network somewhere that is happening.
I
Okay,
think
so
I
on your
think
second,
let me to add something to it. I think I've experienced issues like what she asked to before with LIRS,
okay,
whereby we remitted and the payment is not reflecting on the portal for even after 24 hours, right? So what I did was to send a mail to Alpha Beta, so and they were able to like get the receipt for me and
yeah,
automatically the stuff synced on
exactly,
the portal.
exactly.
So you can also send a mail to them if you've done that for over 24 hours and you see I've not
I
gotten
see.
your receipt. Send a mail to Alpha Beta. They will help
Fast.
you.
Yeah, Alpha Beta.
Alpha Beta.
That's ABC. That Alpha Beta, they're
Yeah.
actually in charge of all payments, all Lagos State payments. So if you have any issue with your payments, maybe you pay to the wrong code, you pay to a different pay ID, or you pay to the different type of tax. Probably you want to pay for PAYE, and then you mistakenly pay to withholding tax. The only people that can correct it is the Alpha Beta. The office is they have moved away from Ijora. They are now at Etiebet's house at Ikeja, which is along Ikeja Road. Yes. Immediately after, I think the bus stop is Abule bus stop, Abule Onigbagbo bus stop. So the Etiebet house is where they are now. So when you get there, just write a letter, tell them about the error. They will correct it. If you have issue with payments not reflecting, you also write to them. They will also do it. You can also go to your tax station too. Each of the tax stations have a department for Alpha Beta. So they call them ABC, Alpha Beta Consulting. Alpha
Okay.
Beta Consulting. So they call them ABC. So when you get there, the moment you have any issue as regards wrong payment, they will direct you. So each of the tax station also have a department or have a person that is from alpha beta, a representative of alpha beta there. So if you have tried it and they giving you the same issue, just write a letter and then you can attach your evidence of payment. They will upload it for you. Yeah.
So
Okay, so the second
I've sent you their email address so that you
okay.
can check it. To send them.
All right. So the payee deduction you're talking about that in May you deducted 7,000 naira for tax, or you remitted 7,000 naira. So from May, January, February, March, April, May, June to December, or May to December, you've not remitted. If your salary is not increased, it automatically means that it's going to be the same payment. Although ordinarily you're supposed to have remitted your payee on or before the 10th of the preceding month. However, LIRS have not really been strict in respect to that. But when they come for tax audits, they can bring out those loopholes and then charge penalty and interest on it. But for now, you can still pay if your salary is not increased. If your salary is increased, you compute your pay based on the increment and then pay the tax on it. Of course, it will be moving from that 7,000 to maybe 7,500 or 8,000 naira. You can still pay it and then file your returns accordingly. It still does not stop it. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, but to get the actual deduction, maybe there's an
Your line is
hello.
To get the actual deduction, it means that you have to calculate, you have to do your computation, which is the payee computation.
Okay.
You understand? You have to do. So if your company is deducting payee, just like I said, the new way to compute this is if, for example, an employee or a staff is getting 20,000 naira per month. Now, mind you, you know that 20,000 naira means that such employees are exempted from payee. Any employees that is receiving a minimum wage at the minimum wage, which is 30,000 naira and below, is exempted from payee. However, you still need to file the person's returns, but under the payee column is going to be nil. So the person will not be, you will not remit tax on such person. It's going to be nil. But the moment the salary increases from 30,500, 31,000, 32,000 upwards, you start calculating payee, irrespective. So whichever one is higher, maybe the minimum tax or the payee, whichever one is higher is what you will pick. So you just calculate your tax. You can calculate your tax based on that and then prorate. So like the one you are having now from May to December. May to December, what is the salary of the staff? For example, a staff that is collecting 50K per month. That would be 50K times the number of months. Calculate it, do it into 12 months. There's a way you do it into 12 months. Prorate it. It will give you, and you now deduct it based on the number of months worked. Yeah, there's a way you prorate it. You prorate it to the number of months worked. It will show you the monthly for that year. Then it will show you the payee deduction from that May to December. Then you remit and then you file the returns. So that's the way you do it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you for that,
Yeah.
Jessica.
If you have any other question, maybe you don't understand, you can always come to TPS, we explain, or you come to my DM or Dio's DM, we explain better.
Thank
you. Yeah.
So Damilola Oyenuga, please, can we have you?
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah.
Good evening, Jessica. Thank you for the
good evening.
I have 3 questions. Number 1, confirm. If a situation arises that a staff wants to register newly for PID and he found out that his profile comes up with someone else, his details coming up with someone else. That is, what do I mean? That someone else have used his detail to register on PID. I want to confirm, is it possible? And if such thing is possible, how
are we going to rectify such for the new staff? Secondly, I want
Okay.
to ask again for you to confirm, apart from LIRS, such as Oyo IRS, I I want to
Yeah.
confirm they are on partial online and partial physical. What do I mean? That is, we can do some returns online and later on we send the hard copies of the filing to their offices. Unlike Lagos, I believe Lagos does all their things online. So I want to ask if Oyo is partial online
Online.
and partial
Yeah.
physical. And lastly, I want to ask for you to reiterate on the implication for tax officer that wants to file 2022 annual filing with 2023 as at now. What's the implication? Thank you.
First question on the wrong information popping up on a new payer, on a new taxpayer ID. I've also experienced such as well. So in that kind of scenario, all you just need to do is you have to visit the tax station and let them know. So ordinarily, such is not supposed to occur. Why? Because a person cannot be having two BVN or two NIN or something. So there might be something that is happening at that point. Is either maybe I don't know the instances, but I can say maybe because there is a mistake somewhere, there's a misinformation somewhere. So the only way you can rectify that is still alphabeta. Alphabeta are the ones in charge of corrections and all of that. So you can write a letter to them and let them know that, oh, based on this information that I want to do, I discover that this is the information we are inputting, this is this. So you can print out all those instances. So when you get there and complain to them, they will also try it. However, sometimes alphabeta can be a bit, you can't just drop letter and then you don't follow up. They won't work on it. So it's always advisable that when you go, drop the letter and then speak to somebody there, like build a relationship with somebody. You know, this ministry parastatals, the way they do. So you build a relationship with the person so that they can attend to you on time. So if you visit them, they will correct it. They will also find out that something is happening somewhere. So they are the one that can rectify such error. However, on a normal circumstances, such error is not supposed to occur. It's either you are not putting the right information from your end, or the payer ID you are imputing is not correct. Maybe you are omitting one number, or probably maybe there is something wrong with that person's information. There's something wrong with that person's information. So the only way you could know if you are getting such response from maybe when you want to generate payer ID, if you are getting such response, the best thing is just to just pend it and go to the alphabeta office or go to your tax station. There's a department of alphabeta there. They will correct it and they give you and generate your own actual payer ID for that person you want to generate it for. Now, for Oyo State, like I said, for me, Lagos State has been the best in terms of online filing. They are, as a matter of fact, they are the one that I would say they are the one that gingered other states when it comes to online filing. Ordinarily, other states are not really so strong like that. As a matter of fact, you can even file online and still go and drop your hard copy to other states. But for Lagos State, the moment you file online, you are good to go. So for Oyo, if you can file online, what I will advise you to do, after filing online, print it out, check their email. There's an email on each of those states platform. Check the email, send the copy of what you filed to them on your email, or better still, you can also upload, or you can also attach the Excel copy, or maybe the PDF copy of what you filed. You can send it to their email. And also, if you have time, maybe if you're chanced, or if you have a contact person, or if you have someone that can easily help you to go there and take the hard copies there and then submit, then it's fine. But I will advise that after you've uploaded online, send them an email as well. You can send them an email so that they will see it, even though they don't open it, but you have it as your own evidence that you actually filed at the right time. And maybe before January ending, if you can create a chance to just quickly go, or if you have somebody in Ibadan or your that can quickly help you go there to file it, then it's fine. So that's just the way you can resolve that one. Now, the implication on not filing 2022 annual returns, know that there's a 500,000, abi? Yes, there's a 500,000 awaiting on you. When the tax audit comes, they are going to pop up the 500K out because they are always being skeptical when it comes to that payment. So you can file it now. You can file your 2022. It's better, you've already know your offense, and then you are coming to ask for forgiveness. That's the way it is. Than for you not to even file at all when you even know that you've made an offense. So you already know your offense. I have filed though, but I know I'm late. I came late. Yes, I agree. So please forgive me. Fine. The fact that you file, they can also be lenient, but I don't think LIRS is lenient to reduce that 500K. 500K is 500K the moment you are late in filing. But it's also good for you to file. Reason is because by the time your employees want to request for tax clearance, if you as the employer did not file, they will not be able to generate the TCC. And some of these employees might decide to go and start, everything has become meet me in court. Meet me in court. You deducted my tax and you did not file. Let's meet in court. It's better for the employer to just remit than to meet in court where you will start paying for damages of over a million millions. So you can still find out which the good part is also reflecting here when you want to file. So you can just come to this page and file it, and you might be lucky. You might be lucky that they might not even see it, but that they might not see it is very slim. You understand? So the implication is the 500K is constant K. You have to pay it. Just be ready that you will pay it. And if you are lucky that they bring a demand notice and everything, and the 500K was not included, then good for you. So, but the implication is you just have to file, even though you have made this thing, you just have to file. Why? It's very important for your employees. All employees cannot spend 12 months in an organization. They might leave and say, oh, they want to get tax clearance. As long as you've deducted PAYE from the money, you are mandated to file. So you have to file it for your employees' sake and to avoid the case of meet me in court, because it's their money. You deducted from their money. So you are mandated to file. So that is just it. Thank you.
All right,
I
thank
hope I've
you.
answered you. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Dami, and thank you, Jessica. So the next person we have is Ezike Adebi. Ezike Adebi, are you there? Okay, next, Abubakar Olayiwola.
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, I have like 2 to 3 questions as well. The first question is about the taxpayer ID. The first thing about that is there any penalty for an individual for not generating his or her taxpayer ID? For example, maybe a person that just relocated to Lagos State and is not aware of maybe the taxpayer ID. So, and he was employed to a new organization in Lagos State, maybe 2 months or 3 months. So it's just like, and the organization too did not bother of asking the person to generate the taxpayer ID. So is there any penalty for a late registration for taxpayer ID or not registering for taxpayer ID at all? So that's one. Another thing is, during the course of your discussion, you made mention of a situation whereby um, the when, for example, when an employer wants to file payee, so maybe the employee supply the wrong taxpayer ID. So if that happened and maybe you pay and you now want to correct the, maybe you want to update back the taxpayer ID, the correct taxpayer ID of the employee for him, for the payee to be reflected in his portal. So how would that be done on the LIRS platform? So I don't know if you get my question.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, and the last question is that is there any other document to be attached to all these four schedules that you talk about, or that is also, is there any documents like maybe the evidence of all the payee, or of all the payee you've payee receipt and the like? So is there any other documents, are there any other document to be attached? So, and I don't know if this withholding tax of 18, which is the fourth schedule you discussed, so is the withholding tax, are you talking about the withholding tax with withheld from the from the customers? I didn't get that withholding tax aspect. So those are my questions. Thank you.
All right. Okay. So your first question is on the taxpayer ID. If there's any penalty on payer ID. Okay. There's no penalty on not generating taxpayer ID. The only thing is that it's going to have an effect on the employee. Reason being that the employee might wake up one day and decide to say, you need tax clearance. You can't get tax clearance without generating a payer ID. So if you want to get a tax clearance, your own personal tax clearance, to show that your employee is deducting your taxes. Well, if my employee is deducting my taxes, I see no reason why I shouldn't generate a payer ID and let the money come into my payer ID. Because the moment you are deducting my tax, the next thing your employer will say, oh, do you have a tax ID? Oh, no, I don't have a tax ID. Oh, well, it automatically means that your pay will not be remitted. Because as it is now, there's no way they can remit payer ID, remit tax without your payer ID. So as an employee, it is very advisable. You can generate your payer ID yourself. As a matter of fact, the process will not take you less than 10 to 15 minutes. As long as you have a BVN, you can generate your payer ID yourself, so that no employer will have an excuse to say, oh, I didn't deduct your tax because you did not provide me with payer ID. There's no there's no penalty for not generating your payer ID. However, on the other end, your employee will not remit you. You will not get your tax. Every other person will get, because your employer will always file their payee. So the moment they file their payee and your payer ID is not there, they will exclude it. They will take it out. So why not just generate payer ID and give them, let them pay? It's your own. It's your evidence that, oh, you are a good citizen of this state. You are doing the right thing. It's your responsibility. So if your employer is willing to do the right thing, why not you as the employee also do something that is needful from your end, so that the whole process can be completed? Now, also the other part is, we can't get tax clearance. We can't wake up one morning and say, oh, you need tax clearance. My organization, I need tax clearance. Mind you, even the payer ID, because the way Lagos State is now, is when your payer ID is not aligning, it will disrupt the filing of the annual returns. And no company will want to pay 500,000 naira penalty for not filing. So all they will do is take you out of the schedule, and then file those that the payer ID is fine. Now, the moment they file the annual returns, it has actually disrupt you from getting your tax clearance. You can't get your tax clearance. The only way you can get to tax clearance is for you to go and pay the minimum 50K for 3 years, 50K. That's 150,000 for 3 years, or for how many years, or for the years that is outstanding, before you can get your tax clearance. So, because the way LRS is organized is, the moment they check the annual returns and your name is not included as an individual in the returns of the employer, you cannot get tax clearance for that year. That year that is outstanding, you are going to pay a minimum of 50K. And imagine somebody that the tax is 5,000 naira, and then you are paying 50K. There's definitely nothing you can do. As a matter of fact, you can't go back to your employer and say, Oga, go and find my returns. No, they won't. They can actually give you a refund. That's if it's organization that is okay. They will give you the money that they've deducted from you, and then you go and pay the 50K. If the money is not up to 50K, well, there's nothing they can do. So it's very important that you have your payer ID. Let them pay your tax in it. When you want to generate your tax plan, it's just once. You generate your TCC straight away. That's the your number one question. There's no penalty for it, but it's always advisable that you generate your PID. Something you can generate in 10 minutes. So why wait? Now the second one is run PID updated on the for paying. Okay. Now for that wrong payer ID, if you mistakenly put a wrong payer ID on the
Hello?
platform, that was why I said before that if you upload the schedule, there's a notification. There's a notification you will receive if your pay ID does not align with the name in your schedule. You will get an error message that will tell you that payer ID does not match with taxpayer. That is the notification you get. It will bring out the error message. Payer ID does not match with taxpayer. So the moment it brings that, is now a red light or a green light for you to say, oh, that means this payer ID of this person does not align with the name. It's either you are omitting a number or the entire number is not correct. So that is just the only way. Now, for you to correct that, you need to know the person that owns that payer ID. And if the person that owns the wrong payer ID is saying, oh, this is my payer ID, yeah, very simple. Log on to the LRS platform. Go to the chat box. Go to the chat box of the LRS platform. Chat with them. Tell that person, employee that is giving that wrong payer ID to give you their BVN. That BVN is very important because that's the first thing the person you're chatting with will ask. So when they say, when you chat with them, they will say, can I get the BVN of that person? If the person is not okay to drop the BVN, you can actually log in on the site, speak on the chat, and tell the person to be chatting with the IT person. So when the person chat, the first question they will ask is your full name, your BVN. So the moment they see your full name and BVN, then they will tell you taxpayer needs to update their platform. The next question that will come up is BVN, marital status, address, phone number, email, all those questions. Or if the individual already have an existing payer ID, it will automatically bring out, or they would send you the full and the correct payer ID. So that is the only way you can resolve that. Then your third question is, are there any other document? Yes, you might decide that you want to upload your documents, but sometimes while uploading the documents, it might exceed the megabyte. So it's always advisable that just put in your schedule. You see the receipt number column on that receipt schedule is enough for them. All they just need to do is copy that receipt number, put it on whatever database they want to put it. It will pop up the receipt for them. So you don't really need to upload the schedule because all the schedule they need you to upload is already uploaded. So you don't need to attach any additional documents. So if you can't put in one wrong receipt number and then put the amount there, the moment they copy that receipt number and check on the database and see that the amount, the thing is not popping out the receipts, then they will have to put charge penalty and interest on that amount, or they send the file to the tax audit department to work on. So ordinarily, you don't need to attach any other document because you've attached all the necessary schedules that is required. So for withholding tax, yes, the withholding tax you deduct from your vendors. Let's say, for example, someone came to your office, maybe they supply you, let's say, furnitures, or they supply you stationaries or anything supplies. The particular thing there is that such person must be an enterprise before you can remit to states. Other withholding tax that comes with limited liability companies are remitted to FIRS. If Jessica Oluwadare Ventures decide to come and supply you something, and all my invoice value is 100,000, and I charge VAT of 7.5%. When you are paying me my money, you are paying me less withholding tax. Now, I am expected, or you are expected, that to deduct that money and remit. At the end of the day, Jessica Oluwadare Ventures can actually use that money you've remitted to reduce my tax if I want to file my returns as a business name or an entrepreneur. I can use that money to do what? To net off my CRTB, as long as I declare the income. If I declare the income of 100,000, I can use that withholding that you've deducted, which is 5% of the 100,000. I can use that money to reduce my tax. Now, you can't claim a withholding tax that you did not declare the income. LRS will even they will gently gross up the withholding tax for you and slam it with the income you've declared. So they are very, very smart. So you can't declare a 1 million income and then you have a withholding tax of over 700,000. You did not declare the income of the 700,000 and then you want to use the withholding to reduce your tax. It is not possible. The 1 million, they will keep it. They will then gross up the 700,000 up and then add it to the 1 million and tell you that the tax on it is this. Now you cannot use your withholding tax to net off. So it's still the same withholding tax that maybe electrician came to do something and the electrician have a payer ID, deduct the withholding tax, request for the payer ID of the electrician and remit. If it's a roadside person that don't have a payer ID, what do? You can't deduct from such person. But however, when LRS come and they see the evidence in your file, they will remove the withholding tax. So the company will bear it because, of course, you can't go back and meet the mechanic and say deduct. And mechanic that you are going to pay 2,000 naira or 2,500, you expect to deduct withholding tax of how much from their money. They will say, just be going, I am not doing. You understand? So it's just the withholding tax that you deduct from the money of an enterprise, of a business person. So the something ventures. So something enterprise. ABC Enterprise, ABC Ventures, Jessica Oluwadare Enterprise, O and J Sons. As long as there's no limited attached to it, if it's a business name, it is due to the state internal revenue service. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Jessica. I think I would like to help you in some questions. So let me see if I can help you with this next question. Afolabi Oyedino, please, do you want to ask your question now?
Yes. Good evening, everyone.
Okay.
And good evening, Jessica.
Good evening.
I have 4 questions, but they are straight. Let me start from number 1. When when filing for your PAYE every month, your monthly PAYE remittance, I'm concerned about the pension because my organization, we know pension is split into 2 from the employer and from the employee, 10 and 8%. In the LIS portal, are we to add the 2 together or we just pick for the employer only? That is one.
So let me quickly answer that so that we move to the next one. So for that first question, you only focus on the employee's rate. That's the 8% one. That's what we do in the schedule.
Okay, so we should it's only the employee rate. Yeah,
yes,
okay, thanks for
yes.
that. So for the number 2, some staff of mine generated joint task board team number, which is not useful. I don't know how they got that or something. So when I'm now, there has a different team number that is different from the Lagos state that starts with N. So my question now is that, is there a difference between the LIRS and the joint task board team number?
Sorry, let me ask, like your company, is it in Lagos?
Yes, it's in Lagos.
So if your employees, they're in Lagos too, they're residents in Lagos, right?
Yes, they are working in Lagos and they are residents in Lagos. So when I requested for their tax ID, their team number, so they gave me So I was like, it's not correct. So when I now tried to check, it's like a joint tax board, blah blah blah, something.
So I think you might need to create for them, because if they are residents in Lagos, Lagos State's tax ID starts with N hyphen and number. So maybe you
Okay.
might need to create for them, just for them to have the Lagos State one.
Okay, so those that have the joint tax board is for which state, please?
But that's what I had to ask, because there are some states that they use TIN as their own tax ID. I think Rivers State used TIN. I think Abuja to use TIN. So like some states, but if they are residents in Lagos, then they should have LIRS PAYE. So for that joint tax box, I don't know, maybe they got it from another state or something.
Okay, fine. So the next one is on withholding. You know, when remitting withholding for some clients, I can for the LIRS part, I can remit everything together as far as I have their company's TIN number. So my question is, most of them are always asking me for the receipt, evidence of payment, but the evidence of payment is not being splitted into different payments. Like if I remit at once now, like okay, this is for PwC, this is for EY, this is for this company. I remitted everything at once, put in their tax number, but it only generates one receipt for me. Is there a way I can get a separate receipt for individual?
Okay, so let me tell you what you can do, and that's what I do most times. So what I do is that, on your schedule you have list of different companies on it and their
Yes.
information there. So
Yes.
if, for example, you have if for example EY is asking you for evidence of payment, and on
Yes.
your schedule you have different companies. So
Yes.
on that schedule that you uploaded, remove other companies' details away and leave EY's details alone. But don't remove the amount. Let the amount still total the amount on the receipt. But you can remove other details, like maybe the tax ID that is confidential and all of those things. Remove it,
Sure.
and just let the name of EY alone be on the schedule. And you can have the other amounts, like the amount totaling that receipt amount on the schedule. You can do it that way, attach that schedule and the receipt together and send it to them as evidence.
Okay. Thanks.
Another thing you can do is maybe request for a credit note from the LIRS for them, so that can also serve as evidence. So either ways.
Okay, just to add to that, another way is the moment you remit and you're sure of the payer ID, you can
They should
ask
even
them.
get the alert.
You can it will be there. It will reflect on the whoever beneficiary. It will reflect on their page.
Yeah.
So they will see it. It will show as credits on their page. So they will see it there. The moment you've remit, just tell them you've remitted. They should log into their e-tax platform. They will see it there.
You know all these big four of the team, they will say they are not the one handling it, that they need evidence, blah blah blah.
Yeah, true. Anyway, true. Yeah. You can also request for the receipt at the bank. If bank is not giving to you, then we go to Alpha Beta. Alpha Beta will print it out because it's Alpha Beta that print receipts. Yes.
Okay. Lastly, I was unable to join early due to some emergency. I'm just thinking, is there a way I can get a link, because I did not join when you are doing the filing. So if I could check the video and I could be able
Yes,
to
so
catch it.
we will send all the recordings to all registered participants after the latest by Monday.
Okay. Thank you very much now.
Yeah.
All right, bye.
Thank you. So the next person on the list here is Dami Adiola.
Okay, good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay, so I have 3 questions. So my first questions was when Mrs. Jessica, she mentioned annual return. So now my question is, okay, she said that the system only recognizes for 12 months, that is January to December. So my question now is, okay, what if I previously worked somewhere for like 5 months, then I was able to get another job 3 months after. Then I worked for another 4 months, which means I worked for 9 months. So if I want to file my annual return for that year, will I encounter any problems while filing, or is there like any implication? That's my first question. Then my second question is, Mr. Didayo, you mentioned that for the annual return, that instead of us imputing it manually, there's like a way we can use pivot table to consolidate our return, like doing it using a pivot table. But she didn't mention that because she took us for the annual return. She didn't mention that, so I don't know if there's a way we can still do that, but time has gone. Then my third question is, if previously I worked and lived in Oyo State, then I already generated my payer ID, which carries Oyo State. Then I now relocated to, let's say, Oyo State. Do I have to generate another new payer ID, since part of the requirement for me to generate is my BVN? Can I use my BVN for more than one time? Can I use it to register as many as I can register? I don't know. So those are my 3 questions.
Okay, so for the last question, you can use your BVN as many times as possible to register with any tax authority that you want to register with, provided that you are changing your residency location. So that one, there's not an issue with that, if that's what they require for registration. And then for the second question on the use of pivot table. So pivot table is just to help your consolidation very fast and very easy, especially when you work in a company that they have plenty employees. Imagine you have like 100 employees on your payroll per month. I mean, how do you want to consolidate that manually? So you have to use Excel to help you with pivot table and all of that. So I like, you can just reach out to me, because if we should start doing that now, I mean, we'll stay here till like 10. So, but I feel like it's just an option. You can do it manually and you can do it using pivot table as well. You can reach out to me personally. I can help you with it, how to use pivot table to do it. And then for your first question, I'm trying to get the question.
That the annual return recognizes 12 months.
Okay. Yeah, so 12 months is the maximum. So it's possible that you don't work up to 12 months in a year, right? That's not an issue. It will accept it. So the system is built in such a way that it accepts anything. It can accept anything below 12, but it cannot accept anything above 12. So does that make sense to you?
Yeah, thank you.
So the next person here is Patience Elimian. Patience, are you there? Okay, next.
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah. My question is, okay, I have a little challenge. My former employer is deducting tax and they did not reducing the tax for, about 5 months plus was with them, and as such I don't have the tax clearance certificate since I've been employed. Though from one employment to another, I've been paying tax. So first, how do I get them to remit all the tax for the company? Then secondly, how do I get my tax clearance certificate that I'm paying?
Sorry, I didn't get that second question.
Okay, the second one is, how do I get my tax clearance certificate as an individual? How do I go about it?
Okay, so for your first question, in tax compliance, right, there's something we call whistleblowing. So, and this is we use whistleblowing when, for example, your employer is supposed to like deduct your tax and remit on your behalf. So if in a situation whereby your employer is deducting and not remitting, whistleblowing is a way of you fighting for your deducted tax. So you can do a whistleblowing to the LIRS or to the respective tax authority. But before you do that, I will advise that maybe you send a mail to the company letting them know that, okay, you've worked for them for so months and you need your evidence of pay remitted during that month period. So I've worked in a company too before that they didn't remit my pay and they were deducting it from my salary. So I had to like send a mail after they with the company, and I mean they were able to like remit it on my behalf later on. So these are stuff you can do. These are, I mean, options that you have. And if you send them mail and they don't act upon the mail, then you can just do a whistleblowing, and I mean that will have an effect on the company. So, but I'm not the one that is advising you, so that you not say it's that or that said you should go and do it too. But these are options.
No, I think that's the respect of my question because they call it deducted attention of the unit. And that's a huge sum. I saw the inflation gets to about 22. So that has been the negative portion. So
because
now,
because it will definitely affect your tax clearance, because if they don't remit it, I mean it has a way of affecting you getting your tax clearance and all of that. But to answer your second questions, if you want to get your tax clearance certificate, you can reach out to me and Jessica personally on how to get it. Would help you to get it within 24 to 48 hours. You will get it. So that one is easy as that. So I think we've answered that question. So
thank you.
yeah.
Then thirdly, sorry, for the payment, online payment for tax, rather than going to bank, how easy is the online payment? Because I can remember there was a time I tried paying online for a company. You make payments, you see that it has been deducted because I was using card. You know, it will be deducted from the card, but I won't get the receipt. But one I tried, I wait for me to discover that they reverse the money. So is the online payment, is it advisable? The bank is easier.
I mean, for me, that's very, very advisable and very, very effective, because I mean, I don't even have strength to go to the bank, because the bank itself is already stressful on its own with the queue and everything. So online payment makes it easy and seamless. So if, for example, you do online payment for your tax and you don't get your receipt, there are options to, I mean, contact some people, maybe help desk to help you generate the receipt back. But it's so rare that you will make payments online and you not get the receipts. So
Okay.
yeah. So thank you for your question. So the next person we have is, I don't know, this number keeps on increasing. Ezekiel Adebi, I don't know, are you here now?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay,
Good evening.
Yeah. Please go on.
Please, I have just two questions. Just two questions.
Okay.
Number one, please, I need a little bit of clarification concerning the remittance, the remittance schedule, the first part of the annual returns. Just a little bit of clarification of schedule returns, because the facilitator was trying to talk about the month, the evidence, and she pointed about development levy and business premises, which I didn't try to get. And then the second one is this: LIS released a circular concerning annual returns filing and said taxpayer ID is compulsory. Now, how are we going to do it to people that if you're asking of BVN so that they can generate ID and they cannot release it? What are you going to do in that scenario? So just those two questions.
Okay. So I know, like me too, the thing is, it can be very annoying that you're trying to like help employees to create tax ID and they're finding it difficult to release their BVN. So these are some of the issues we face at times, right? But the thing is, if they are finding it difficult to release their BVN, you can just send them the link to create it themselves. Send them I mean, it is very, very simple. It's straightforward. Send them the link to create the tax ID for themselves. And once they create it, they can send you the tax ID. Because the thing is, the system will not accept any returns they are filing without any employee's tax ID.
Yes.
So it's very, very important that you use the tax ID of all your employees, whether the past employees or the current ones, to use tax ID for it. And then for the first question on was schedule returns, right? So schedule returns is just
the schedule returns, the first one, yes.
It's just for you to populate your receipt details. You know, on your LIS receipt for each month, you have your receipt number there. You have the receipt amount. I mean, the payee amount. You have the period cover. You have the period cover. You have the date of payment and all of those things. So that's what you will put on your schedule returns. And then you've got business premises and development levy. As a
levy.
last year, those two options were not there. They just implemented it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
So all you need to
implemented,
do is you
okay.
have to make payment for it as well. So I think on development
Okay.
levy, you have to pay 100 naira per employee. So
Yes, yeah.
if you have 50 employees on your payroll, so that's 100 times
Yeah.
50, that's what you pay. And then for the business
Yes.
premises, you have to pay
Yeah.
5,000 if you have been in the business
Okay.
for long. But if you're a new
Yeah.
business, you pay 10,000 naira.
Yes.
So it's that simple as
Okay.
that. Yeah.
All right, please. But what about if for that period the company didn't pay business premises and development levy? What are you going to input there?
Like I'm not sure it will fly. It won't fly. So you still have to pay it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Okay. Okay.
you also have to put in
Oh.
the details of the payment, the receipt, and all of those things on that schedule.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you very much.
the next person we have is Joy Ijide or something. Is Joy on the call?
Yes, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. Please, can you speak up?
Oh, okay. Can you hear me clearly now?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I was going to ask, I need clarification on this. I know that I've worked in some organizations and I know that, well, let me not say I know, they pay tax like they say, but I do not have access to the tax number. So is there a way I can get that myself? Because I don't know how they've been paying the tax, but I just know that they deduct tax from the salary. When you see your pay slip, they deduct the tax, but I do not have the tax ID. So I need a clarification if there's a way I can find that myself, or I don't know how they've been doing it. That's just my question.
Okay, so let me quickly share my screen so that,
because I know I've tried using my BVN, I didn't see any tax number coming up, and no, so I don't know what that is.
please, can you see my screen?
Not yet.
What about now?
Not yet.
Not yet. Can anybody see my screen again?
No.
What about now?
No.
Not yet. Okay.
Yes.
Now.
Okay. So to create your tax ID, you can you log into the LIRS portal, click on create new tax ID.
Okay.
Then it will require you for some details. So you either use your BVN or your NIN, but it is more effective with BVN. So once you put your BVN here, your date of birth, and you confirm that you're not a robot, then and you click on proceed, it will show you address to create your PAYE ID. But let's now say that you already have a PAYE ID, but maybe you just want to do it. Maybe you've forgotten your PAYE ID and you want to confirm it. So just click on forgot tax ID when you want to log in. So when you click on forgot tax ID, the same details that you need is your BVN or your NIN. But like I said, it's more effective with BVN. Put your BVN here and your date of birth. Confirm that you're not a robot. Then it will automatically it will show you your tax ID, or it will also send it to your email.
Okay,
So
can we now use this one
that?
to confirm if I have a taxpayer ID or not?
What did you say?
Can I use this find your taxpayer ID to confirm if I already have or not?
Yes, you can use
it. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think that's fine. Thank you so much.
All right. So the next person, Motolani Oyafemi. Are you on this call?
A moment. So my first question is, Um, Sorry, apologies, I stepped out quickly. So my first question is, I overheard somebody say that LRS released a circular that if you don't have payer ID, you cannot file. So I've had a colleague who, in my own case, I did not do file for people. I just sent them the steps on how to create payer ID themselves. But there's one person that has refused to um, file, be to do his pay ID. There's still one person that I have left. In that case, now what would I do? Because this person has, for some, they had payer IDs before, they did not remember. So I think that's what is wrong in his own case. So for some of them, I'll just tell them to go to the chatbot on the portal and keep answering all the questions. But it's a very long process because it will ask for a lot of things, date of birth, local government, and he's an admin person, so one of the drivers. So he just doesn't want to have to go through all of that stress, right? Unlike others, they have had to sit to. So this is just one person that is left for me. What do I do in that situation? That's one question. The second question is, you said all of it is annual returns, like all of those schedule returns, withholding returns, all of that, right? So I just wanted to be sure. So all of it is just accumulation of what we've paid from January to December, right? That's my next
Yes.
question.
Yeah,
Then,
yeah.
okay, okay. Then my third question. I know Mrs. Jessica mentioned that when you're uploading, it will then flag off the people that don't have pay ID. I've not experienced that, so I don't know how that's possible. And then the
Wow,
next one
that
is, um,
sounds strange.
yeah, because I actually uploaded it and I didn't experience it. Then another one is that, and it generates the bill. So, but we don't pay on the platform because we have a lot of employees.
Oh,
So
like
we pay.
you mean for payment, not for annual returns
Yes, when I
filing.
when I upload the schedule to generate the bill on the
Yeah, I
platform, it
mean
does not flag
for
off.
bill generation, it will not flag it, but for these annual
Okay.
returns, it will flag it. Yes.
Okay, so for annual returns, oh,
Yes,
okay,
it
okay,
will
all right.
flag
Okay,
it.
I've not done that yet. So, okay, then I think the next question is, so the next question is, at times when because we want to move to having to do things ourselves, this which is one of the reasons why my line manager said I should take this class. When I upload payee, when I upload the bill and send it to the bank to pay, because we cannot pay on the platform, it's a lot of money. So when I send it to the bank to pay, and then they send the receipt and all of that, people don't get notifications that their payee has been filed, right? So unlike if we have to send it to our tax consultant, we will get notification. So it's usually bad because if we have new employees around that time, it will be a thing of, oh, you people don't remit taxes or stuff like that. But I actually don't even want to send it to our tax consultant because me now, within the first within maybe even 25, 27, 25, 20, 27, 20 to 38th of the month, I might have probably generated the schedule, everything. I send it to task consultant. They might have one issue or the other, or I might have even sent maybe like from first to fifth. You get, they might have one issue or the other. They'll not pay it late, right? So, and we don't like it. We want to be as compliant as possible for our ISO, all the other regulatory things that we need to do. So that's why we want to have to be doing it ourselves. But in situations like this, wherein I've uploaded, I've done everything, it's reflecting on the platform that we have paid, but people are not getting notifications that their payee has been remitted. What do we do in situations like that? That's another question. Then the last question is, um, so one of our directors is having a regulatory issue, and the taxes they have paid in the years past before I joined, um, 2020, 2021, and early 2022, they were not uploading it. It appears that maybe the tax consultant at the time or whoever it is, they were not uploading it properly. So they were paying it to the bank. There's a receipt to that effect that the taxes were filed for, withholding taxes were filed for the directors or for all of the directors. We have shared the receipt, but it's coming back now to say that they are saying they cannot use it because it was not paid. I don't know how the language that Dasha using that, but they are saying it cannot claim the withholding tax that was paid. It was a total payment for all of the directors. But now that we are uploading it ourselves, right, and generating the bill and doing all of that, it is reflecting. But all the previous ones that they did not do it like that, it is not reflecting. Please, what can we do? Because it is actually facing a lot of challenge. at the moment, and it's really a big issue right now.
Okay. I just hope I'll be able to like remember all the questions. But let me start from the one of tax ID flagging off or something.
Okay.
So it is important that you, for your annual returns, if you don't put the PAYE ID of any employee, it will flag off. It will not even go. So for in the situation whereby maybe your driver or something, your company's driver is not complying with creating the tax ID, just communicate the implication to the person that, okay, if you are not doing this, it means we have to remove you from the schedule. Because that's the solution. You have to remove that person because you cannot leave it blank. So, and if you communicate the implication to the person that we are going to remove you from the schedule, I feel like the person will maybe put in more seriousness to creating his tax ID. So that's that. And then the can you come again with the first question or just
So the
remind?
next question is that filing and people don't get notifications when we do it ourselves.
So for that, most times it's because maybe you've not. Did you always put the employee's tax ID whenever you want to generate the record?
Everything. I follow that schedule, right? I have a temp. I generate that schedule myself, and then I put it accordingly. And that's the exact same schedule that I sent to the consultant. It will reflect. It will generate the bill. I will send the bill to the bank with a bank instruction to pay, right? And then within 24 to 48 hours, by the time I'm going to the portal, it should have reflected that we have paid. But for the recipients to get notifications that taxes have been remitted on their behalf, it would not occur like that. And I have sent situations. So the first time I tried it, because I just attempted it 1 month, right? And I chatted the bots. I chatted with somebody on the platform. They said, okay, this and that and that. Did you do this? They told me to send the schedule, send the bill, did everything I did. They told me to send an email. I sent emails, I sent reminders, no response, nothing. So for that month, we did not get notifications. The new employees that joined in that period were berserk, this is and that, 2 people are this and that, which is not actually what happened. So we had to revert back to sending it to the consultant. But I do not like us sending it to consultant because they will delay. They may delay, not every time, but they may delay. For instance, now I want to file December taxes. I could have done it since December, but they haven't resumed, or they have not resumed in their office. So they cannot file our taxes. Whereas if I could have done it myself, I could have done it since December, or at least the first week of resumption.
Well, I feel like I don't want to say maybe because you took it to the bank, that's why you didn't get the alerts. It should not be like that.
Okay,
but
so how else
I
can
don't
we
know. Why don't you guys pay online yourself than taking it to the
We
bank?
can't pay online because it's a lot of money. It's over 2 million naira.
Oh.
So it's a lot of money.
Is it your internal process that will not warrant it? Because 2 million is
because I think, okay, maybe I don't know. People said they pay with card. I saw the card option. I don't know how else to pay online.
So it's not only card option that is there. You can pay via transfer. You have bank transfer option. We have card option. We have, I think, I've forgotten. We have different options.
Okay, so there are other options.
The ones I use more, I use even bank transfer option. The system automatically generates an account details for me to pay.
That makes sense.
So you can just send that to your finance unit to.
No, I'm the one that would actually do all of that.
So I mean that makes sense than taking it to the bank. So
in that case,
I want to assume maybe because you took it to the bank, that's why they didn't get the alert or something. But it should not be so.
Should not be so. And then I sent the schedule to the email that was given to me. I sent the schedule, I sent the payment advice, I sent everything. I did not get any response. Okay, so what you're saying is that if we try paying it through the portal, people should get notifications.
Yeah, automatically, because I mean, yeah.
Okay, so I'll try it for January, and
you can try that, unless maybe you can reach out to me personally if it passes.
Okay, so that's one. That's another one. Then I wanted to confirm. I'm sorry, I wanted to also confirm. Mrs. Jessica said the template for all other states are the same, because we're having challenges. We're meeting for employees outside of Lagos, and it's really a big deal at the moment. So I just wanted to confirm Abuja, Rivers, and all of. But I see that Rivers is still more structured, kind of. So she's saying. So what you're saying now is that all of them also have to. It means employee people outside Lagos also have to generate payer IDs or teams for us to be able to remit their taxes.
So the thing is, all your personal tax ID is important because it helps you to get your TCC.
Yeah, I
So
get.
the whole idea of annual returns is the same thing with all states. Like it's the same details we are trying to like file. Just
Okay.
that the mode of doing it can be different. Some are still online, some are still manual. But the whole system, the whole idea of what annual returns is the same thing everywhere. So you still have to
Okay.
use your TIN number, if it is TIN they are using in that state, if it is tax ID, you still have to use it as well to file your
Okay.
returns. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, then the last one was directors. Withholding for a director
So you
that
said
they're
you
saying
said you paid withholding tax on directors in for group of directors or something in law firm,
yes,
and now
for directors.
you now want to file for them individually.
No. This is it. So before, I don't know how it was paid, Sha, before. So maybe it's also this bank problem. I don't know. So before, I don't know how it was paid, but there are receipts. There are LRS receipts of directors, but it was paid in bulk. Like
Mhm.
you're paying for 8 directors at once, and then you just send the schedule and the receipt. Now,
And they use
now
all their tax ID to make the payments, right?
I I'm not I think so. I no, I don't think all of it was paid. I actually don't know how. I've not really checked the receipts very, but I know that there were some that it was with their tax IDs. But there are some that I don't know how they were paid, Sha, but it was Sha paid for directors. But now that I got in and I do it myself, I just upload the schedule. I send the schedule to the consultant or I pay it myself. So but they are saying now that the directors cannot claim the the withholding tax because it was paid in, I don't know how they said, because they said that because it was not paid individually or something like that. But there's a receipt that this is Q4 director board fees 2021. The receipt is showing that it is, and maybe a schedule was sent. I don't know. I wasn't there at the time, so I don't know what we can do to ensure the directors can claim this withholding taxes paid on their behalf.
Okay, Dayo, let me just come in for that
Okay.
question.
Okay.
All right, now in that scenario, what actually happened is that while they were uploading that schedule to make payments, the individual payer ID of those directors were not imputed in the schedule. So that was why they couldn't claim it. However,
Hello.
all you just have to do is very simple and straightforward. Just it
Okay.
still boils down to alphabet. You can just write
Okay.
a letter. You can write a letter, put the schedule, state in the schedule you want to send to alphabet now, just put the pay ID of each of those directors. Write a letter to them in
Okay.
alphabet that they should credit the accounts because the money is already, so you just take the pay ID of the company. The money is already,
Okay.
the
Hello. Okay.
company has already paid the money. It's just that it has not reflected in each of the directors' accounts. So put the schedule. Hello?
Jessica, I think your network
Okay.
was
Yes.
breaking,
Can you
so
hear me?
but it's
Wow.
better now.
I guess
Can you
okay.
come again?
Okay, so just it's better now. Okay. Okay. So just do the
Okay.
schedule.
So.
Put the fresh schedule you want. Put the
Okay.
payer ID of each of those directors, their name, the gross amount, the withholding rate, and the amount that was deducted. Attach it with the letter and send it to Alphabeta. They will automatically credit them.
No. Deducted.
So
Okay. And for all the period that they're claiming that they could not receive. So the receipts
exactly.
and the
So
schedule.
exactly. Attach the receipts and the schedule to it. They will credit them. They will see it. As a matter of fact, you can even tell them that you need
Okay.
hard copy of the receipts. They will print it out for you. Alphabeta will print the receipt for
Okay.
you. So it will reflect on the
Okay. No,
e-tax
that they'll
of
send it to email or will
no, the
okay.
hard
It
copy
reflects on the e-tax of the
follow the
directors.
yes, it will automatically reflect on each of the directors' pay ID. That is if their pay ID has been linked to the e-tax. It will automatically reflect on their pay ID individually, and then you will get a
Okay.
credit note individually for each of them for those
Yes, on
years.
their
They will
portals.
give you, yes, they will give you,
Okay.
Alphabeta will give
Okay.
it
All
to
right.
you.
Thank you. But can I get the email, the alpha beta email?
That
Can
you
I get
posted
their
it
email
on the
address?
platform.
Email.
Yes.
Yes, so I already posted it on the platform. Let me do that again so that you
Okay.
can.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the last person. Oh, I think that's all. Yeah, I think that's all. So does anybody have any question again? So, okay, Titi
Okay,
Layo.
yeah, sorry, one last one. Development levy is just 100 naira. That's
Yeah,
it.
per
Per year.
employee on the payroll.
And it's
Not per
going to
year,
be based on the payroll per
like
employee monthly or per employee annually.
annually, yeah.
And it's going to be based on the December payroll.
Yes.
Or for the
The current
entire,
payroll.
okay, or
Yeah.
is it for the entire schedule?
It's going to be per the
That
current
year.
payroll. Per the current payroll. Do you get that? Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I got that. Thank you.
Okay. Titi Layo, Angela.
Hello. Okay. Good evening.
Good evening.
All right. Still on the development levy. Like I've emitted my pay for December, so I want to ask, to pay for the development levy, how do we go about it? Since you said it's more like a new innovation, it's never been done before. How do we pay for it? Do we go to the bank and make the payment, or there's a
Hello?
another way to pay for it on that the tax platform? To my response yet, so hence the reason why I'm asking again. I said my company relocated to Lagos recently. That was around May, and we've only spent 6 to 7 or 8 months in Lagos. And since we did not spend up to 12 months, is it possible we still get our we actually remitted for those 8 months? So is it possible we get our tax clearance for this period since it's not up to 12 months? That's my question. Thank you.
So for the first question on business development levy, so it's not a new innovation or something. Just that they just insert, or let me say, inculcated it into the annual returns online. Normally before we pay it annually, right? But now you have to pay it alongside your annual returns while filing your annual returns, and insert the payment details, the receipt number, and everything in your schedule. So that's just the only new initiative there. So it's not like it's a new thing. It has been before. We've always been paying for development levy and business premises before. So that's to answer that one. And then the next question on your tax clearance. You can get tax clearance, I mean, anytime, provided that you are compliant with your tax obligations. So if, regardless of when the company started to file with Lagos State and everything, so far the company is compliant with their tax obligations, and for all their employees, you can get your TCC. All you just need to do is to, apply, go to the tax office, get the TCC application form, fill out the necessary details for all the employees, and submit your application. So once they are able to verify your application details and everything, you should be able to get it for all the employees. So it's as easy as that. Does that make sense?
I'm still not okay with the development level. I want to know, is it supposed to be paid in bank? Like we know for the
So let me. Can you see my screen?
Yes, please.
Okay. So it's just the same way we pay, PAYE and all of those things. You log into your portal, click on generate and pay OB. So you select your agency depending on your tax office, and then you see business premises is here, development levy too is here. So you just click on development levy. So the amount is 100 naira per employee. So let's say you have maybe 100 employees in your company. So that's 100 naira times 100 employees. You put the amounts here, and then the date will be from January of 2023. I mean, January of 2020. You can just put the date, maybe let's say January 2024 or something. So like the dates of payments and everything, or if it is a one-off payment. So, and I see it's a 1 month payment, you can just click one-off because it's a one-off payment. Click one-off, and then you put the amount here, and then you put the remark. So it's as simple as that. Same thing applies to your business premises as well. It's the same way we normally remit for PAYE and all of those things. Does that make sense?
Sure, thank you.
Yeah. So Motolani, did you raise your hand again?
Yes, please. I just remembered one last question.
Okay.
Yes, so I made an error while filing February payee. Some people's salaries had been increased and it did not reflect. So we underpaid. So what do I do now in December?
Like you underpaid the employee or you underpaid their tax?
Employees tax. So I underfiled their taxes. I'd not been working on the payroll at the time, so I just collected the payroll from my line manager, and then I just ran the same. It was the same set of people in January and February. There were no additions, so I just duplicated the same thing. Whereas two people's salaries had been increased at the time, so it did not reflect. So it reflected they got the actual net pay, but the taxes that was remitted was lesser than what should have been remitted.
Mm-hmm. I think, Jessica, do you want to answer this question? I think maybe you have to communicate to LIRS and maybe now remit the difference or something.
Yes. So what will actually happen
How do
is, okay. Are you with me, Motola?
Yes, I am.
Now, in that kind of scenario, you can still recompute the difference. You can still remit the difference. The only thing you just do is change the month. When you will still have to generate bill on e-tax. So you just change it to February, the month that it occurred, and pay the difference.
Okay.
So so at the end of the year, it will all balance up.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. And that's before I file. And that's before I file the annual returns.
Exactly. So in the schedule receipt, February will be showing like there's a higher amount in February and there's another lesser amount in that month. So at the end of the day, you have your total payout and payee for that year.
Okay.
You understand?
Right.
That's the best way to do it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Finally, Patience. This is the last person for today.
Okay, thank you. I'd like you to throw more light on the director's remittance, as in how you file director's PE. And moreover, when she was discussing, when she started, she was talking about the withholding tax and all of that, and business owner was part of the people that was included in the filing of withholding tax. Are directors supposed to be part of the PE that we are expected to remit? I just want more understanding on that.
Okay, so for directors, they have their own is a deadline for directors filing annual returns filing, which is 31st of March every year. So the ones we are talking about here now is PAYE annual returns. So for the directors annual returns, because directors will not be on your payroll, so they have their own separate way of refiling their returns. So I think Jessica already spoke on that.
Okay. Director's filing is the same thing with aside from the fact that employers file the returns, as I explained earlier, we as employees too, we also need to go and file our own returns. So it's the same procedure. The only is just the same procedures. The only difference is employee. If you don't have any other source of income, the reason why they are saying employee should file is so that it can be aligned with what the employer filed. Now, if as an employee I have other source of income, I can also file them under trade income, or maybe if it's commission that I get, or if it's any other income, I can state it. But if it's just salary that I earn, then I'll just put the exact amount my employer filed is the exact amount I will put in as salary, and then I will file. Now, in the case of directors, it's different. However, it's still the same process. As a director, aside from some directors get salary from the company, they also have other source of income from other companies that they are directors. Some also have dividend income, some have trade income, some also have foreign income, some have rental income, all sorts of income. Whatever income they have, you just put it in bit by bit. Some also have directors' fees that they earn at the end of the month. So your director's fees, by the time you do a 5% on it, and the withholding tax is being deducted, you can use that to reduce the tax of the director. But you have to declare the income first before you can use the withholding tax. If you don't declare it, if LRS go to the director's portal, they will gross it up and then add it to the income and then deduct the withholding what is payable, they will pay. So it's the same process, but for both employees. After the employers are filed, you as employees also are mandated to file. If as a director too you want to file, you also file. The only thing is the income we are declaring differs. As a
Thank you very
director,
much.
you can have other source of income. As an employee, maybe it's only salary. Just put in your salary and file. It's required that you have filed your returns. So if you haven't filed, during this TCC process, that is where I get to realize that you as an employee as well, we are also mandated to file. So when we try to say for people, the LRS official will be like, oh, as the person filed returns, we'll be like, oh, is the employee supposed to still file? They'll say, yes, you're supposed to still file because everything is interwoven. So it's also mandated that even as an employee, they should file. So even if the company has filed, the employee too should file. Director also is also the same process. Hope I've answered your question.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Jessica, for teaching us today. Thank you so much, everybody, for participating. Thank you for registering for this webinar. I feel like we've learned something different today. At least if you've known maybe some of it before, at least you've learned at least one or two things that is kind of new today. Thank you so much for joining us on this webinar. And I would like to appreciate the team, that's Jessica, Dolapo, and Jamil, Nimat, and all other people on the call. Thank you so much for putting this together for us. And this is what we do. We try to do this once every month. So this month is on annual returns. Next month it can be on another thing. Next month it can be on different topic entirely. So please, if you are not on our group chat, these are stuff we discuss even during the weekdays as well. Any issues we are facing in our company or in your workplace regarding your duty, just type it on the group. Before you know it, somebody has already answered it. And Jessica too is on the group. Myself, I'm on the group. A lot of us are on the group just to help us, solve our tax problems. So thank you so much, everybody. To those that have been requesting for the recording, we'll send the recording to the registered participants latest by Monday. Before the close of business on Monday, we'll send it to everybody's email address for us to replay if we need to do that. Please, if you are not on our group page, please try to join us. If you're not following us on LinkedIn, try to join us. If you are not, you are yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please try to do so. We've uploaded a lot of videos and we are still going to upload more in our drive as well to our YouTube page. Adeyinka, is it a question or a vote of thanks that you want to say? Because we are wrapping up already.
Hello, good evening, everybody.
Yeah, good evening.
Actually, I did not know it would go this way, but I will not say that I did not pick one or two pens. But what I want to ask is a question. I want to ask, she said that as an employee, you also need to file. How do you file? And there are some employees, they don't even know how much is being paid for them. Most companies, they don't remit pay, and some people can collect like 20,000, they will not remit 20,000. Maybe they will just remit whatever amount that they feel. And so if you as an employee want to remit pay, how do is it that you will log into LIRS portal, and then now will you know how much that you will file?
So as an employee, you don't remit, you only file. And what
I
you have
mean,
filed,
I mean, I wanted to say file that
okay,
has
okay,
been
okay.
remitted for you, the amount that has been remitted for you. How will you know the amount that you will file?
Okay, so the best way to know this is communicate with your HR in your company. You can ask them for the maybe let's say spreadsheet of what they've remitted on your behalf. That particular amount should be what you also file. Because if it is not the same thing, then I mean you have to maybe pay more liabilities. You have more liabilities payable, right? But if it is the same as what your company has filed, your employer has filed, then there will not be any problem with maybe any additional liability or something. Jessica, do you want to say something?
Yes, I want to say something. I don't know if you followed the part where I showed a page on the LRS platform that the employer returns is reflecting on my own page when I log into my own platform. So if the deadline for filing is 31st January for employers. So by 31st January, or no, before 31st January, all employers should have filed their returns. So for individual returns is 31st March. So if you want to check or if you want to confirm that you want to file your own returns and you are not sure of the
Of the
amount or
amount.
the
Mm.
from, yes. So you can just log
Jessica,
into
please,
your
can you please share it again for them to see it?
can you share it again. Okay, let me quickly
Yes.
do that. Okay, let me quickly do that. I'll log into my platform now to my home page. One
I
second,
think
please.
that's a new initiative, self, because it
Yeah,
was
it's
not
a
there
new
last.
initiative. Yeah, it was not
Mm.
there. It hasn't been there for a while. So
Okay.
you just log in with your payer
Because
ID.
most employers, they collect more
Yeah,
money from you, and they will not
yeah.
actually file they wouldn't
Of course,
remit the
they will
exact
remit
amount that was collected.
exactly. So another thing is you as an individual, you should also know how to compute your pay. If they say, "Oh,
Please,
this is my,"
no grief for that employer this year. Oh. No grief for them.
oh, I'm
I
telling
think that's
you,
why
nobody
that's
should do
why they are
anybody.
saying that employee too should file, so that
Yeah,
they want to
nobody should
know
grieve for
if
anybody. They want to know if what the employer has deducted is actually what
it's
the
what they
employee
remitted.
filed.
Yes,
Yes. So are you seeing my screen now?
yes, I can see it.
Okay, so this is my own payer ID. This is my password. So if you don't have a password, you need to do a forget password. The only thing is, provided that your payer ID has been linked to your e-tax, that is when this can be possible. So you log in to your profile. So when you log into your profile, you come to this place, this returns
You mean
page.
going? Is it? I'm sorry. Is it that you will
No
log
problem.
into? Is it LIRS portal? Abi, as an
Yeah,
employee?
it's the same LRS portal. Yes, e-tax portal.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
it's the same e-tax portal. So you come to
okay. So what of
returns.
if you don't have your ID, PID? You go and get it from the HR.
Yes, now another way where you don't have your payer ID is this place here. You don't have
Yes.
to get it from your HR. You can generate your payer ID yourself. As a matter of
Okay.
fact, the moment you are in new employment, the HR
Mm,
or whoever that is in charge of payroll should be the one to
mm.
ask you that, oh, can we get your payer ID?
Okay.
That's for good. If he's a good employer, oh, can we get your pay ID because we want to remit
Organized
the tax?
organization.
Exactly. So can we get your pay ID so that we want to remit your tax? Even if it's pension, can we get your PIN so that we can remit your pension? So that's the first thing they will ask. In fact, some will even say you should fill it in a form or whatever it is. So you yourself as a person, you should have gotten your pay ID. It's something you can do within 10 minutes. So where you don't remember your pay ID, then you can do a forget ID or a forget password. So you just put in your BVN. Your BVN is faster. When you put in your BVN, it will show the last 3 digits. If you want to get the full digits, then you go and chat with them at the chat box that they should give you your full. So they will still ask you for your full name, your BVN, and they will ask you some questions just for security purpose to be sure that it's not another person that is requesting. So if you're able to get the answer, they will give you your full payer ID. Then you can provide it. So at that point, that person that you're chatting with can actually confirm that, oh, this payer ID has not been linked to the e-tax. So in that kind of scenario, all you just need to do is, okay, they will say it has not been linked. Please provide so information, full name. They already have your BVN, address, local government of your address, marital status, phone number, date of birth, email, and all of that. So the moment they get it, they will link it to you. They will link your payer ID and tell you that your payer ID has been successfully linked to the e-tax. That's all. So you give it to the HR. Each time they make any remittance, you will get your email. If your email is correct, you will get your notification on your email of the amount that was deducted. So if you are not so sure of the amount, just go to your PAYE computation, put your gross salary, confirm if they are deducting pension or if there's any other deduction they are deducting. Deduct it, then you compare it with what they are remitting to confirm that, oh, okay, they're actually remitting the right thing. So for the filing returns, if they are filed on or before 31st January, you will come here, my tax returns. This one is actually a new development.
Yes.
It wasn't here before. As the last year, this employer filed returns wasn't reflecting. But now it's a new development. So when you click it, it will show you if your employer has actually filed your returns. It's going to show, so it will reflect 2022 because they have not filed 2023 accounts. So this one is just showing, yes, this is it. So this is the name of the company where I've worked before. I worked with them 19, 20, 2021, 2022. So with this alone, I can actually go and apply for my CCC. So now when I see this, I'm rest assured that, oh, looking at it, this amount is even small. Can you imagine? I've not even had the time, not be now. So you can imagine 6 months. I work for 6 months here, which is not true. I'm supposed to work for 12 months and they are filing 1.8. Do they even know what they are doing at all? Anyways, that one is for data. So you will see it here and confirm that, okay, this company that I'm working for had actually filed returns. You understand? So when you confirm this, all you need to do is go to your own filing and then you also file. Me, I've not filed any returns so far. Yeah. So you come here, file returns here. So it will bring out whatever year you want to file for. 2023
Okay,
salary
thank you so
condition.
much.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way it is.
Sorry.
Okay.
Mr. Dayo said that we can ask questions on a particular platform. I don't know which platform. Is it TPS or which other
Yeah,
platform?
it's
Are you on
TPS.
our WhatsApp group page?
TPS, Abby?
Yes, tax
Yes.
problem solver.
Yes, I'm there.
So that's
Okay.
the page.
Okay.
Mm.
Thank
All
you so
right.
much.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you everybody. We've come to the end of the tax masterclass. We'll be having another one in February, and this will be communicated to everyone again. Should you are interested, we'll communicate this to you on the group page and on all our social media handles. Thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you again next month. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.